صوت المطر أفكر ما الذي حصل لحالي طوال سنوات مثل أناس كثر يضيع مني العمر ولا أبالي قد سئمت من التفكير قد حان وقت التغيير قد طال شوقي لغد لي مبتسم لنغني ما أجمل الحياة فكل شيء يحيا بالأمل فلننسى ما فات ونبني لنا مستقبلا أفضل
Let's go, early head, welcome in. Alhamdulillah, white BBLs everywhere. The people's BBL.
إلى متى سوف أظل تائها أنأى شيئا فشيئا عن حلمي لا لن أبقى هكذا مكبل اليدين فأنا أحس بالحنين لنفسي لا يأس بعد الآن لا تقل فات الأوان فليكن يومك أحلى مما كان لنغني ما أجمل الحياة فكل شيء يحيا بالأمل فلننسى ما فات ونبني لنا مستقبلا أفضل
Let's go. Thank you, Jeb Dish and Carly Vinger. Are we seeing the end of neoliberalism or are we only seeing the beginning? I don't know. All I'm seeing is a BBL.
ليس هناك مستحيل عندك حلم جميل املأ قلبك باليقين وامضي لنغني
The masses demand a BBL and Donald Trump shall give it to us. That's what the bill is about, right?
فلننسى ما فات ونبني لنا مستقبلا أفضل
You get a BBL, you get a BBL, you get a BBL. Play, motherfucker, play. What the fuck? What the hell? There it is.
Shadow Rich Gang just took your soul and you're never getting it back.
Yeah, we're going fucking old school today. Chat going old school today. BBLs for everyone. Starting in a couple.
My body has been taken over by an evil spirit.
Shadow.
The shadow people are in your walls.
I never really understood what's the army behind these guys. Like, what's the actual army on the wallpaper? What's up, Raiders? What's up, Raiders? Globus the Elder. I love that fucking name. Samo zatvori I batine. Welcome in, 32 Raiders. I hope you had a great stream. Everybody go give our beautiful Raider a follow and give some subscriptions to our proper Raiders. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you before the raid to False Kakaroto. False Kakaroto, thank you very much for the 14 months, my friend. I have always appreciate you being here. Thank you, YugopnikTwitch, for the biddies. Just got on an internal committee at my job. Watch your video, Socialist Guide to Surviving Capitalism, again for some tips. Thank you, brother. No, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother, indeed. And that's one of my favorite videos that I've ever made. Actually, productively contributing to things. It ain't too bad. Ain't too bad. Well, let me move this down. Okay, guys. So I'm streaming from the seaside, from my girlfriend's parents' apartment. They have 2 apartments, and this is the second one, and we are currently in it, living it up, champagne socialist style, while America is burning in front of my eyes. Talk about the good life! Talk about the good life! No, I actually feel unironically pretty bad for regular, everyday Americans and what they have to go through. Do you fuck with your... I lurk here a lot. Love your work. I love you too, man. Stop lurking and start posting. God damn it. Jokes aside, no. Very, very welcome to the community. And thank you again very much for the raid. Welcome, everyone. Do you guys fuck with the... give us a fit check and a twirl? Doug. Pretty clean shit. Very classic, very clean. It's a good mask. It's got like these little tiny fires on here, okay? Ooh, look at my mouth. Look at mouth. Look at mustache. You guys can see mustache now. A very thin lips. But yeah, I can breathe. No joke. That feels really good. So, I told you I spent a lot of money on masks. I think this mask is like $80 or $90. It's such good material and everything. It's some fancy fucking high-piece brand or whatever bullshit. I'm not going to sponsor them. But I got another one, which is even cooler. But the other one is for winter. Okay, this is the classic one. Yes, change of scenery is because I'm streaming from my girlfriend's parents' apartment. The other one, I don't know if you can see in the thing, but can you see the material? It's fuzzy. Like, look, it's actually fuzzy. The whole mask is fuzzy. It's like this type of mask, like the other, like a proper ski mask, but it's fuzzy. So it's so cute. It's so soft. Like, it's really good material. This was massively discounted. I got this for like 60 or 70 euros, but this used to cost 400 euros. Who buys a balaclava for 400 euros? What is wrong with rich people? I swear to God, but it's very soft and cute. So when I'm in my bro got that Gucci mask. It's not the Gucci mask. I'm not that cliche. What the fuck? I am Balkan, but I'm not that Balkan, okay? When we reach 3,000 subs, instead of giving Anne an actual salary, I'm gonna buy myself a Gucci mask, okay? Going full sellout on here, going full sneako, going full why I left the left type shit. But yeah, this one's great. It's even got like a metal piece here. It's fantastic. Anyways, welcome chat. Let's get right into the news and see what the fuck is going on. Before we start that, I want you to tell me, are you scared? Are you scared? Are you scared? And probably everybody who is living in the United States of America right now will say they are scared, because realistically they should be. This bill is very bad, okay? This bill is very, very, very bad. It's the red flag to beat all red flags when it comes to the direction the United States of America is going to be going into. It is the beginning of so-called market regressions that capitalism enters and exits relatively often, but once it reaches a sort of crux point, there's no going back. What kind of regressions am I talking about? Well, in capitalism, you have different types of crises. Certain crises can be alleviated through reform, where the working classes are given a little bit of, a little bit of a little bit, in terms of public goods and services, usually for free. Or particular alleviations on their everyday burdens, so that they calm down and don't literally kill you. So the country chooses to pay the riot tax, and the wealthy choose to pay the riot tax. But sometimes something else happens. And what is that? They do the absolute opposite, but they understand that they don't need to give in to reform. They can just invest a lot of money into guys with big guns that are going to come into your house, deport you, imprison you, or shoot you in the back of the head. Okay? So that is the plan with the BBL bill. Okay? They will spend billions of dollars on ICE and Border Patrol agents, which will arrest you and give you a BBL. And then you will immediately be happy because you have a BBL. Have you seen an unhappy person with a BBL? You probably will say yes. And I will tell you source, because that doesn't exist. But yeah, you entrench your representation of hyper-capitalists as strong as possible. You fuel all money and all flows of market capital into their hands, but you understand this is why this bill is relatively intelligent reactionary policy, okay? Relatively, because it understands that this will have blowback. That is why it is creating both a civic and military branch of radical status quo supporters, aka border guards, national defense teams, ICE, particular legislative teams that are going to pass rules, regulations, and sentences on people that are going to go to particular types of camps to get BBLs installed. Okay. What's up, Robo? What's up? So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the kind of the night before the night of the long knives, right? Pushing all capital even further, full mask off. Haha, very funny saying that while wearing a mask. Pushing all capital into smaller and smaller number of hands, but understanding that there will be blowback to this. That is why you invest massively into your Gestapo, which is pretty much the border security and ICE organizations of the United States. And that's it. Let's see what's going on, and let's try and feel for the Americans. Which is always very difficult, but we are trying to be good because, I have nothing against the American government. It is the American people that I hate. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. President, thank you.
Not this one. Why this one? Нет, это нет. Wait, why am I? Sorry, went back to Russian. I just talked to my handler the other, 15 minutes ago.
Breaking news
Because we were very confused, from the Russian Federation. Are we supposed to applaud Trump for this? Because it's, leading the country down a path of fascism, which ironically is very inefficient usually, and leads to the eventual collapse of the particular empire project that has gone down said path, or do we just let them do their thing, right? And the Kremlin was very confused as well. They were like, dude, just beg for subs, dude. We're no longer giving you money. You don't even know what you need to say. So yeah, right now I'm gonna go full objective on this. Have you ever heard of Stop Killing Games initiative? Of course. We talked about it yesterday a little bit, but I'd like to talk about it more. Maybe if we have time, we'll talk about it more today and the civil war ensuing from it.
This morning, President Trump on the verge of the first major legislative victory of his second term. The House is headed for a final vote on his...
I'm finally looking into seeking therapy, and while I'm making some regressions, I'm starting to heal from my trauma and depression. I'm really happy for you, Robo. Really, really happy to see just how progressively you've been getting better. It's really nice to hear, my friend. Keep going, keep doing it as long as it works, and eventually you're going to come out on the other side. You're a tough motherfucker.
Sweeping tax and spending bill after a dramatic breakthrough overnight. Republicans winning over a handful of holdouts who had been threatening to tank the president's signature legislation.
Welcome in, rock and roller. We have some new people. Very nice.
This morning, it appears
Yes,
on
you're
track to pass ahead of Trump's self-imposed deadline to get it to his desk by tomorrow. Now, the president posted this shortly before 1 in the morning,
the
saying,
people
quote,
demand BBLs. Big, beautiful lady bills.
This should be an easy yes vote. Ridiculous. He piled on the pressure after meeting with with some of the GOP holdouts yesterday. These are the numbers, though, that gave at least some Republicans pause. Nearly 12 million more people expected to become uninsured under the bill. The national debt will go up another $3.3 trillion. Those numbers come.
And you know how you reinsure a right-winger when he sees this, especially in a country that actually runs semi-legitimate elections? You know how you reinsure them? You just tell them, we will just arrest these people if they complain, or we will just blame it on the immigrants. Like, look at how dumb these fucking troglodytes are. Like, they're going to believe it. But what if they actually sit down and talk to the immigrants? They won't. They will get massive salary bumps because we will employ them to work for ICE, okay? All long-standing American citizens that have been here for over 3 to 4 generations will simply see their lower tax bracket offset by joining the SS. Very easy solution. And unironically, one that to an extent in the short term works. So it's a win-win.
From the nonpartisan congressional budget.
$3.3 trillion is fucking insane. Yes, but have you thought about the idea of potentially deporting annoying Enrique from across the street, the guy you've been secretly racist hating in a racist way? Your income going down by quite a lot, or that annoying college-educated Nigerian family from the other cul-de-sac? I don't know. You give those options in front of an American white guy, and they're gonna be thinking, you know. They're gonna be thinking, you know. What's up, Maple Takes? Everybody, go follow Maple Takes. Dope mask. Thank you. I'm trying to be a mask hype beast, brother. So I'm changing them up, and the change of scenery is because I'm streaming from the fiancée is. I forget, she's not a girlfriend anymore. The fiancé's. What do you call it? The parents' apartment on the seaside. I'm gonna tan slowly from stream to stream. I'm gonna tan very slowly so you guys can see the direct progress of going to the beach or not. You guys into beaches? I mean, I know you guys love bitches, but are you into beaches? Yeah, that was a Balkan joke if I ever heard one. Is that too light? Is that too light? Is that too light? Oh my god, it looked like it's very light. Give money. Actually, look kind of do. But is that too light? It's kind of too light. It's good. Okay, it's good. I'll kill this thing. You can see some Soviet blocks from behind this, like to the left and to the right. But I'm not going to show you because you guys are going to dox the shit out of me. You fucking geolayer fucks. You geolayer fucks you. Do you fuck geolayer or does it fuck you? I don't know. There we go. Okay. Oh, yeah. What were we talking about? Yes. Trump's BBL bill. And for everyone saying that it's completely irrational and it will not pass, I remind you that rationality is defined by the gun, okay? So if it is completely irrational and everybody complains about it, they will simply find a suitable scapegoat for this, that of course will not be the capitalists, and through reactionary rhetoric, point the gun, again, literally at them. I didn't even know you had a mouth. I don't have a mouth, and yet I must scream. That is my existence, my friend. Sopranos core. No, it's not Sopranos core because don't wear shorts. I'm wearing shorts, but don't wear shorts. Dons do not wear shorts. Big beautiful baka. Yes, 6'3", 6'4". I don't remember. What's up, Hank? I spent the last little bit of my student loans and zins and Fursona commissions, and now I need to create $400. Dude, why? Okay, why these awful financial decisions? Okay, you should do smart financial decisions, like subscribing to me or to Maple Takes. Okay, those are smart financial decisions. Not spending them on your hobbies or your children. Fucking disgusting. Proper nerd behavior. Jesus Christ. Lol.
budget office. CNN's Annie Greer is on Capitol Hill this morning. What are you learning? It seems that there is one Democrat standing in the way of a vote so far this morning.
That's right. House Minority.
This is from 4 hours ago, by the way. Oh, my favorite streamer. My favorite streamer. Guys, we are supposed to applaud this guy for being able to talk for 10 hours without stopping. Or in this case, I think he talked for 4 hours without stopping. We're supposed to applaud our streamer, bro, okay? Something that streamers have been doing since before God created a camera. And this guy wants millions of dollars from AIPAC in order to talk for 5 hours about random shit.
Leader Hakeem Jeffries is on the floor. As soon as he finishes rapping, we are expecting a final vote here. And this, Sarah, has been a...
Rapping? Was that racist? Slightly biracial, not racist.
Roller coaster. Up until about 3 o'clock this morning, Republicans did not have the votes on this. There were as many as 5 Republicans who were voting against this, and they can only lose 3. But we saw House Speaker Mike Johnson deploy a strategy that he has done again and again, which is to call a vote when maybe he doesn't necessarily have the votes, he's not sure, but he wants to hold this vote open and apply a direct and public pressure campaign on these members. If you were to watch the House floor last night, you would have seen the Speaker and his leadership team talking directly to lawmakers, trying to make the case for why they should be voting yes.
That's Hakeem Jeffries, not Cory Booker. Show me a legitimate difference between the two, and I will give you a subscription. There you go. Show me a legitimate difference, brother. Yes, I did fuck up. Those are two different people, but I don't know. All bald people look the same to me.
Yes, of course.
Racist me? Oh, okay. Let's pull that fucking card. Yes, I am racist towards Democrats. They all look the same to me.
President Donald Trump and his team have been crucial here in getting members to yes, meeting with them at the White House yesterday. Trump deployed his team to the Hill to meet directly with members on the Hill in ongoing meetings. Now, part of what took so long is Republicans have different concerns here with this, so it takes time to work through all of that. You have a group of more moderate Republicans who think that the Senate's version of this bill makes too deep of a cut to Medicaid. They're concerned.
If Republicans were so proud of this one big ugly bill, why did debate begin
from an hour ago
at 3:28 a.m. in the morning? Republicans are once again, which has been the case, Mr. Speaker, through every step of this journey, tried to jam this bill through the House of Representatives under cover of darkness. But I'm here today to make it clear that I'm going to take my time and ensure that the American people fully understand how damaging this bill will be to their quality of life. And as a result of the lack of health care that will result directly from this...
Weren't you supposed to do that before the vote, Brett? Like, isn't that the point?
One big ugly bill. People...
Well, he's going for longest floor speech by minority leader. Current record is 8:30.
In America...
Yeah, he's still going. You know why? Self-aggrandizing theater shit. He's trying to break another record. Dude, it's a fucking absolute classic. Like, what can... There's you know, the old joke. There's two things that liberals can do when they see a fascist walking through the door. Wiggle their finger at him or go and hold his hand, okay? This is the finger wiggling part. This offends me. I must tell the masses of America on why this is wrong and how this shall cost them many monies.
will die. Unnecessary deaths. That is outrageous. It's disgusting.
But okay, let's be pragmatic for today, I guess. Let me just shit on Democrats for today. I don't fucking know. At least I'll try. Not on Democrats, on Republicans only. Are there any Dems that support the BBL bill?
That is not what we should be doing here in the United States House of Representatives.
The House Republicans are having to wait to deliver President Trump the biggest legislative victory of his second term. The Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is holding up the vote by speaking for more than 5 hours already and counting. And there's no time limit in this delay, the tactic known as the magic minute rule. Jeffries is railing against the Medicaid cuts that could leave almost 12 million people here in the United States uninsured under this bill.
And as a result of the lack of health care that will result directly from this one big ugly bill, people in America.
The fact he's the only Democrat senator being against the bill should show all liberals who the Democratic Party represents, tired of the liberals who only oppose this because Trump is doing it and would most likely support the same bill if it was Democrats doing it. Eternal classic of American politics. They simply the Republican Party was in charge during a period in which large capital understood quite organically, not through some sort of weird cabal, that it can take the next necessary step of ensuring their future through violent means instead of through constant appeasement of the masses through this or that form of reform. Okay, they figured it out. They tested out ICE. They tested out anti-immigration rhetoric. They tested out defining the others, the unnecessary others, as non-Christians in the United States. They tested it all out. And they said it's going to work. So let's put 175 billion, which is 175 billion is the estimated amount that is going to go into ICE and other border systems in order to quite literally fully dedicate themselves to the reactionary anti-immigrant sentiment through actual over-the-top arrests, killings, long-term detentions, and so on. And the brainwashing of everyday American masses with the pitch that the immigrants are at fault for absolutely everything else, while they pay even less taxes and amass even more money. While the everyday American, even the one that came on whatever, Merryfield, Merryboat, Merry Kacheri, Kurats Moj Palac, will see their standards decline because public goods and public services are going to continuously be taken away because they're underfunded. This is the most cliche reactionary approach to taking back any sort of breadcrumbs that were given to the masses in order to stabilize capitalism. There's the only two ways you stabilize capitalism. Either you give breadcrumbs or you pull out the stick. And now they're planning on pulling out the stick because you make more money when you pull out the stick. Don't spend your money on fursonas or zins. You must send your money to Yugopnik so you can buy Gucci balaclavas. It's not a Gucci balaclava. But I could buy a Gucci balaclava. No, I would never buy a Gucci balaclava. Because it's tacky, not because anything else. It's just tacky as fuck. And this feels so nice that I can actually breathe through my mouth. Pretty crazy shit. Yes, it is. No, it is not. You guys are baiting me too well recently. They're tired of paying the riot tax. Beautifully put. And look, I bought a whole table, so it's practical. But I'm currently this is hardcore ghetto productions. Let me show you guys. I bought a foldable table so that I can fold it. Right? Look, it's a fold. Wait. Bought a foldable table so I can whip it out when I need to stream and move it out of the way when I don't stream, okay? The things I do for you guys so I can spend some time talking about BBLs. Crazy. But yeah, but it's a very unstable table. Unstable table.
Will die. Unnecessary deaths. That is outrageous. It's disgusting. That is not what we should be doing here in the United States House of Representatives.
And here on the YugopnikTwitch, we should not be watching ads like the ad that is going to play in exactly 2 minutes. Instead, we should be goddamn subscribing, okay? Funnel money not into reactionary advertising, but a reformist Yugopnik platform where we don't watch ads and instead donate to the state of YugopnikTwitch. Indeed, that was the ad pitch. throw money at me. I am actually going to save you from ICE.
We're covering all the angles this hour.
You're going to fleeing the country to Hawaii. Isn't that also the United States, unfortunately?
CNN's Kevin Liptak is over at the White House. But let's begin with our congressional correspondent, Lauren Fox. She's up on Capitol Hill. So, Lauren, where do things stand right now?
Yeah, like you noted, Wolf, Leader Jeffries has now been on the floor for more than 5 hours. The record for this so-called magic minute, which can go on as long as the leader wants it to, is about 8.5 hours. That is held by Kevin McCarthy, a former Speaker of the House. So does Jeffries try to break that record in this process? I think that remains to be seen. Right now, the mood on the floor is members are...
Okay, if I was an innocent little boy, I would be like, he's just trying to delay it so that the Democrats can organize in the background and do something against the bill, blah, blah, blah. But we are not literal fucking idiots here, okay?
Crazy hamburger! Crazy hamburger!
Oh my fucking God, Barry. Jesus Christ. Once I don't call you an idiot and you give me 20 gift subs. And Cynical Chris with the $5. Thank you. Let me shake the table for you. The fucking ground is shaking from all the subscriptions. Shit, the fucking thing's gonna fall off. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna die. But yes, we're not fucking idiots here. And this man is basically utilizing the fact that all of America is currently watching this in order to get some political points. So that everybody knows who he is, okay? Obama from Timu type shit. Smoker lungs. I don't smoke. It's fucking velo.
Sort of
crazy desk. But seriously, thanks so much, Barry and Cynical Chris. That is extremely kind of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
About they're a little bit in and out. On the Republican side, there were about a dozen members. On the Democratic side, there are a couple dozen members. It's not a totally full chamber, but obviously
cloud chaser is the definition of cloud chaser. He knows that every single large broadcaster is going to be broadcasting this. So he's taking 8 hours of the broadcast so that everybody knows who he is. And going back to brunch, Democrats are going to eat it right up.
Obviously, as the hours go on and on, it's filling up a little more, in part because members are finally back awake after staying up late.
Cuphead Socials, if you're covering the Zohran race, check out your Discord DM for me. Yes, friend. From 8 days ago. No, I don't have the Discord DM. Oh no, Cuphead, Jesus, it's you, SRG. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Adams raised eyebrows last week after he made comments during closed-door fundraiser saying he is running against the Democratic Party's socialist movement. During Monday's rally, Adams was talking unity. So here are Democrats, we are, he said, no matter what we believe, there is one thing we all embrace. The next mayor needs to be a Democrat. Oh my God. We'll check it out later. Thank you. That's a nice dig. You dug that up real good.
Into the morning to pass this key procedural vote that Speaker Johnson was able to muscle through the House floor in the early hours of the a.m. Now all that awaits is for Jeffries to finish his magic minute, for Speaker Johnson to speak briefly. We are told it will not be nearly as long as this, and then the House will vote on final passage of Donald Trump's key agenda bill. But I think Jeffries is giving a very clear indication of how Democrats want to message this on the campaign trail. He is talking a lot about the cuts to Medicaid, what they mean for Americans across the country, what he is hearing from constituents across the country. And obviously that is something that Democrats feel like they can harness in the midterm elections coming up. And just to remind everyone, the one vote against moving forward with this procedural vote in the middle of the night was Representative Brian Fitzpatrick. He is one of those Republicans who represents more of a swing district in Pennsylvania, and he voted against this. He has been outspoken previously about the fact he had concerns about those Medicaid cuts. He has not responded to questions about why he decided to vote no in the middle of the night.
Wolf.
Very busy reporter up on Capitol Hill. Lauren Fox, thank you very, very much. We'll stay in very close touch with you, Pamela.
Yeah, a lot going on Capitol Hill today. Let's go to CNN senior White House reporter Kevin Liptak, because there's a lot going on at the White House as well. And you have new reporting, Kevin, on what the president did to flip the holdouts. What have you learned?
Yeah, and remember yesterday we saw that parade of lawmakers coming through the West Wing to talk to the president.
Remember, chat, whatever they say Trump did in order to flip the holdouts, I'll tell you what it was. He literally told them we should not care about how the masses react 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 6 years from now, when they start realizing that they can't afford jack shit. And that basic public goods and services have been taken away from them. Because we will have a far-right, militarized, hyper-budgeted police force that will be able to either beat the living shit out of them or give them a pitch that all of this is immigrant people's fault, okay? That's how he flipped at least Republicans.
President representing both sides of this divide. You saw some of the centrist Republicans who were concerned about some of the cuts this bill makes to Medicaid. You also saw some of the fiscal hawks who were concerned about the effects on the deficit. And this morning we're hearing from one former holdout, Ralph Norman, who described some of the conversations that those fiscal hawks had with President Trump. And essentially Trump made this commitment to them that he would use sort of the limits of his executive authority to try and enforce some of the provisions in this bill when it comes to clean energy subsidies. Essentially,
he even told Elon Musk to go back to South Africa. We're going to check that out later. Like, holy fuck.
The president...
I'm late. Where are you streaming from? My girlfriend's parents' apartment. Second apartment.
Would really...
And before you call my girlfriend a disgusting... bourgeois dog that has whose parents have 2 apartments. Both this apartment was given for free by the communists to her grandpa who passed away, and then her parents refurbished the apartment, and that's why they have 2 apartments. Okay, and the one that they live in, they bought at a very low price again during the evil communist era. Okay.
Adhere to the letter of the law in enforcing.
And he could have very easily rented this place because it's on the seaside, but he chose not to, and just keeps it as a cool place where his family can come and hang, okay?
And enforce some of the provisions in this bill when it comes to clean energy subsidies. Essentially, the president would really adhere to the letter of the law.
You're all my girlfriend.
Subsidies. Essentially, the president would really adhere to the letter of the law in enforcing some of the rules and regulations that allow those subsidies to phase out over time. That, at the end of the day, was enough to convince some of the...
Očiče bio nekom ludu u vojsci, bukvalno, brate, bukvalno je bio tamo kapetan neki, šta je bilo.
Those holdouts, including Ralph Norman, to get on board with this bill. You know, we heard from members yesterday that these sessions in the Oval Office that the president was holding were essentially using honey rather than vinegar. The president taking photos with some of these members, handing out White House swag. That eventually does seem like it was enough to convince these members to get on board.
And breaking this morning also, Kevin, President Trump says he'll be speaking to
there you go. Zero analysis from CNN. Zero analysis. He just convinced Republicans that don't understand how taking out the knife in late-stage capitalism works. And he convinced them that it's very smart to take out the knife now. That's it. That's it. That was the whole pitch. A hill I'm dying on. Do I have proof? No. My proof is history, okay? It is very easy to move so-called centrists, be it center-right or center-left, into full unhinged violent capitalism, also known as fascism, when you just tell them that it's not going to hurt their bottom line in any way. And that's what happened. It's not going to hurt your bottom line, Mr. Senator. Okay, I'm voting. Let's go.
And breaking this morning also, Kevin, President Trump says he'll be speaking to Russian President Vladimir Putin. What do you know?
Yeah, and he says that that call is happening right now, 10 a.m. Eastern time. You know, these two men last spoke in the middle of June. Obviously, it's coming on quite a consequential week for the U.S. role in Ukraine. The White House and the administration announcing that it would pause some of these weapons shipments to Ukraine, citing dwindling supplies in the United States. And so this will be a topic of conversation between the Russian and the American presidents. You know, just last week, President Trump was at the NATO summit in the Netherlands. He actually seemed open to sending Ukraine new Patriot missile batteries and pinned the blame on this prolonged conflict directly on Putin, saying that he thinks Putin is misguided. He says that he thinks Putin would like to settle this conflict, but obviously after a week of some successes for the president, whether it's on this bill, whether it's in the Supreme Court, whether it's in the Middle East, the war in Ukraine remains an outstanding complication for him that he still very much wants to get a settlement on.
Yeah, and they need to send more missiles to Israel, as Chatters beautifully put. That's it. Sorry. Popularity contest, unfortunately, lost by our Ukrainian brothers and sisters. Israel needs more bombs, okay? If Ukraine wants full, unadulterated support by the United States of America, it must deploy the Azov battalion in Gaza to protect Palestinians. And push back the Israelis, fully destabilizing the Israeli state to the point where America realizes it is no longer a viable geopolitical imperial project and completely dedicate itself to the support of the Ukrainian struggle, okay? Zelensky, deploy the HIMARS on Tel Aviv when ready, okay?
All right, Kevin Liptak, thank you so much. Wolf?
So who's going to be better off under President Trump's so-called mega bill? For that, let's go to live right now to CNN senior reporter.
Azov be like Azov going in to kill Israelis for all the wrong reasons because they're Nazis, you know?
Matt Egan, who's in New York. Matt, what are you learning?
Well, Wolf, the president has argued that this will be one of the most successful pieces of legislation in American history. But like many things, the ultimate beauty in this bill is very much in the eye of the beholder. But let me run you through some of
the eye of the beholder? Are you fucking insane? The eye of the beholder, yes. 0.1% will think it's awesome. 99.9% will be deeply fucking hurt by this. Even the not so rich people will be hurt by this. Like, this is exclusively just for the hyper wealthy. I recently listened to The Collapse, the Fall of the Soviet Union, and just could not help but see a string of similarities between the fall of the USSR and the current collapse of the US empire. Of course, it's copy-paste always, my friend. Did you give props to Grandpa Schumer for taking powerful step, changing the name of the big bad bill or whatever? Oh, yes, we salute and we give great thanks. For making it sound, for taking away even the funny name, okay? Azov versus Israel is peak clash of the trash. Another day, another fell for it again award being given to Republicans in MAGA. I'm in a new place currently in another country on the seaside.
The groups that should
the stock portfolio as the beholder.
Come out ahead. First, big business, right? Corporate America, business groups are cheering the fact that the Senate passed this bill and the House looks like it will too, because they're betting they're going to benefit from some of the permanent business tax breaks here. Manufacturers are also pleased because this legislation will allow them to fully and immediately deduct the cost of building new manufacturing facilities. Now, small businesses, we're talking about partnerships that include doctors and lawyers and investors. They should come out ahead as well because there's permanent deductions for certain so-called pass-through entities. We look at some of the workers who could be better off here. One thing that stands out is tipped workers, right? Because they're going to be able to deduct up to $25,000 in tipped income through 2028. Also, overtime workers will be able to...
That's going to allow their employers to pitch to them for them to get even lower salaries and rely on tips even more. Which in short term, for example, if you're a waiter, is going to sound fucking awesome. But long term, it's going to ideologically cause an ideological shift where you're genuinely like, okay, boss, if you let me, work a bit harder for my tips, I am willing to give up instead of 12 hours a day. I'm ready to work for 9 hours a day. And either the boss or you will have to pay for that additional tip income.
Deduct up to.
Also, does this count on Twitch? Because when you guys sub, it's basically a tip. You guys love giving me your tip.
$12,500 of their extra time pay. Also, higher income Americans certainly coming out better here. The Penn-Wharton budget model.
And there we go. That's it. That's the pitch. That's the pitch. That's the whole reason. This is why we're doing this whole thing. This right here. And these fucking idiots are still gonna jump on that fucking dick because for now they're gonna be a little bit better off. But you think in 15 years, if this really works out well for these guys, that they're not gonna start scrapping these dudes too? Of course they will. They don't even need to start scrapping these dudes. These dudes will be out of jobs in 15 to 20 years. You think the petit bourgeois will be a fucking concept worth mentioning in the United States in their battle against the Amazons and the Walmarts? What fucking planet are you from? Jesus Christ.
They're estimating that the top 20% of earners should gain $13,000 in yearly after-tax income. And look at this, the top 0.1% coming out way ahead, benefiting their...
Remember when during COVID, they told us that if the government gave us extra money, that would destabilize the economy? If you have $1,500 extra income, they would destabilize the economy because they would spend all that money really quickly. And then that would... fuck up the pricing. That would cause inflation, deflation, big dicks, small dicks, erections, and flacids. That was a big thing, remember? It was a huge thing. But now you have the 0.1% with $290,000 on average extra income and the 20% with $13K extra income a year that they're obviously going to be either spending or inflating the fucking stock market with. I wonder what that's going to do with the fucking economy. Jesus, this is so fucking see-through. It's incredible shit. I love saying the word mask off as a masked guy on Twitch, but Jesus Christ, talk about mask off.
Their net income should go up by...
And unironically, just that's one thing that I want to fucking shove into your beautiful little faces today is because everybody with half a brain is looking at this and is saying, okay, you are making an already incredibly unequal society even more unequal. Like the masses will notice this and the masses will be pissed off. The answer to that is $175 billion to the new American Gestapo, okay? Only the Chinese military and the American military, of course, has a bigger budget than what ICE and Border Patrol agents and so on are going to have. Okay, I don't think even the Gestapo in the fucking Third Reich had such a big cut out of the Third Reich's GDP when it comes to their operating budget. That's the answer. We'll just bonk them on the head.
Almost $300,000. Again, that's per year, and according to the Penn budget model. Another impact here for high-income Americans is that those who are living in high-tax states, making up to $500,000 a year, they will see temporarily their deduction limit increase, going up to $40,000 per year on state and local taxes for 5 years. So, Wolf, clearly some of the big winners here are higher-income Americans and some of the big business groups.
Yeah. Duh. Dobar dan, dobro jutro, said the dying man. Wait.
Yeah, well, you can't go to the HR department because we don't have one. Oh, hey, guys. Hey, what's up, man? I was just being normal.
Hey, I was just being a good guy, man. How are you?
Hey, what's up, guys?
This is covering Trump basically kicking Musk out of the country. It's a fucking... I love reactionary infighting.
Right, we're back.
We did it. We're back. People ask the guy. Oh, but he could do it.
Antagonism by Elon and says this at the White House this morning before he went down to Florida.
Oh, Christ. What's wrong with that sound? They couldn't step away from that for a while? Hey, we're reporting here live with the president. We're inside the engine of a plane. We crawled inside.
We crawled inside there to do this interview.
Take a look at this, too. Look at this mic. Look at how they got this little president right here.
Let's see what Maple Takes is showing us. Everybody, as I said, go follow Maple Takes right now. Wealth distribution in France, 70, 60 to 90. Top 20%, top 10%, bottom 20%. Obviously, where all the beautiful money went to. We're talking from 0 to 100. This is a very big chunk of it, okay? If this is 20, this is 40, this is 60, this is 80. This is what? This is 100. This means that this is 60%. 60% of all of the cash goes to the top 10, okay? Well, distribution in the United States, 2016, okay? We're talking this contrast, okay? As this, okay? Okay, even higher, okay? I'm saying okay, sound smarter. Absolutely. Absolutely. Graphs, they are amazing. They are amazing. Look at this graph. No, this is unhinged, actually. This is absolutely insane. I would add another one here for the top 0.1%, which is, holy fuck. I think we need to change our rhetoric also to an extent, like the wider left. I really think it's much more bombastic and more hard-hitting to talk about the 0.1% because it just breaks your brain, even a normie's brain, of just how much wealth concentration we're talking about. It's relatively easy for cope heads to think that at some point they might be a part of the 1%, you know, because, okay, 1%, 100, 1 in 100, maybe I'm the 1 in 100 guy. But when you say 0.1%, do some maths here, okay, 0.1 is 1/10%, so it's a 1 in 1,000, okay, very low chance of me doing this, okay.
Look at that mic. Somebody bit that thing. That's a bite. That's clearly a bite. Somebody.
Let's look positively now. 9 years later to go way higher. Absolutely.
He did one of these to that mic. Somebody got that mic like
adult baby.
Okay. Anyway, let's.
Okay, my friend. I keep watching your videos on stream because I like you, but please let's cover news. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, you're not Yugopnik. You can't pause and then talk about gooning for 12 hours. Okay, that's my job. Stop impeding on my territory, motherfucker. Thank you, Spuds. Burgie! Thank you, Spuds, very much. Everybody be like Spuds. And then take out that wallet. And subscribe. Make that number go up. That's some rookie fucking numbers right there. 1,879. We ain't even in the 21st century when it comes to subscription numbers. Fucking pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I want Gucci masks. I want Louis Vuitton masks. I want fucking gold-plated masks. I want to walk in here looking like a fucking swagged up medieval knight and stream from my big castle. From my big castle, okay?
Attempt to hear this thing.
I don't want to be called mansion in LA socialist. I want to be called castle socialist. Streaming from castles and shit. From castles and shit. I'm kidding. Yeah, if you want to support the show, blah, 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 you know the pitch. Thank you.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look.
Huh?
We might have to put Doge on Elon.
Oh, okay.
You know what Doge is? Dead. Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Oh, my fucking God. Holy fucking shit. This is unironically the night of the long knives. But what was the name of the guy that created Hitler's paramilitary, the brown shirts? And then Hitler no longer fucks with the leader of the brown shirts and says, bro, I'm about to use brown shirts to shoot you, bro. Yeah, Rom, thank you guys. I'm bad with names. So yeah, Hitler, Trump's top guy. Gotta go. You created a paramilitary for me. That paramilitary is gonna do you in financial style, okay? Financial boogaloo style. You goddamn fucking immigrant. Like, it took him only a month since the beef started to call him a goddamn fucking immigrant. Like, I love that shit. I love that shit so much. It took him only a fucking month. Hype tray, let's go. Let's see how comfortable Elon's train deporting him back to South Africa is going to be. Let's see how many carts, how much luxury he's going to have there, okay? We are reactionary only for one human. We are anti-immigration only for one human here on YugopnikTwitch. And it's white South African, specifically Elon Musk. Thank you, GG, for making Elon's departure back to South Africa so much more comfortable, my friend. True motherfucking true. Oh, I'm so grateful that Elon Musk happens not to be Jewish, because I would not be able to make that joke. I would indeed not be able to make that joke. Thank you, McGinn, for giving him some snacks in that train. True motherfucking true.
He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter.
Oh, shit, man. Look at that.
Yeah, so this is very exciting right here. I saw a lot of headlines.
But unironically, Elon Musk is the only immigrant on whom you could apply reactionary, quote-unquote, philosophy, unironically, because he's a fucking immigrant that came here, pretends to be American, but doesn't really care about Americans, only cares about himself, is the biggest welfare queen to exist in the history of the United States, arguably, unironically. Gets money from the state, doesn't pay anything back, pretends to have a real job, just makes gadgets that he calls cars and rockets that explode mid-air. What the helly? What the helly Musk? Okay. So yeah, like the only immigrant that's actually the scary stereotype from reactionaries' worst nightmares. Deport this welfare queen back to South Africa. Though then I would feel very bad about South Africans, okay? Also lied on his naturalization papers. Everything. Steals jobs. So many jobs. Destabilizes long-term running American staples, such as the diesel engine, such as big muscle cars, okay? He is culturally anti-American. He is a welfare queen. The only thing he does, just like the welfare queen he is take money from the government and make children and sit on his ass. He just makes children and sits on his ass and gets government benefits. Elon fucking Musk. Make the hype train big so we can fill it with Elon Musk. Have you seen his pictures from the boat? Okay, we need a very big hype train for Elon Musk in order to properly fly him out. Okay, all the way down to Johannesburg. Offers horses for blowjobs. He also destroys the environment. But reactionaries don't care about that, so I'm not using it for the allegory.
This is how I read headlines. What? Check this out.
True fucking true. Let's go.
That was how I read headlines. You know, I'm reading all these headlines the way I read headlines, which is like... These headlines kept coming up that were like, Elon Musk might get deported. Trump floats... What did his stupid thing say? Trump will consider deporting the weird little ass of Elon Musk.
Fucking Elon Musk in here not agreeing with the United States government. If you don't like the United States, then you are very welcome to leave, okay? Our proud eagles shall soar through the skies, not being weighed down but by whatever fucking body type that is, okay? Get the fuck out. You don't like America, you are very welcome to leave. He's also a weird pro-German, okay? Proud American fascists do not Sieg Heil, okay? We do other stuff. God fucking damn it.
I was like, what happened? Is that true? That's like finally something everybody can get on board with, you know? Everybody's talking about this bill. Oh, this bill, it cuts all this crap. You know, this bill that they're passing, it's like, oh, poor people can't drink water anymore or something. But if they put in there, also Elon Musk gets kicked out of the country. He has to swim out of the country, maybe. Everybody would be like, that's pretty good, actually. You know, there's a lot of bad stuff in there, but I think it's an overall good. Elon Musk has to...
Level 3 train. That shit is not big enough for Elon and all of his children. Okay, we're deporting his kids too. Oh, you feel bad for his kids?
To go to one of those old timey things.
You want 24 Elon Musks and Elon Muskettes operating from the United States of America? Johannesburg now, okay? 16 seconds left of the hype train. I want more space for his children, the whole Musk family. I want that train smelling like Musk, okay? Smelling 100% like Musk. Musk's Musk, if you know what I mean. Thank you, Warden. Thank you very much. Amerikanski crazy burger. Thank you very much. Okay, not a bad hype train. We'll do better next time. We'll do better. You're good, chat. You're good.
Things in town square.
No, not Vivian. No, Vivian especially.
Where's his
Thank you,
head?
Jeb.
They lock the head in the hands.
Oh, no. Vivian. Of course, Vivian. I confused Vivian with his sister. Confused. Vivian is great. No. We don't count Vivian because Vivian is like, what was it? Like no longer officially his daughter, right? Vivian is great. I was thinking about his sister that makes softcore porn. Thought you guys wanted to keep the softcore porn sister. Yes, Elon Musk has a sister, has a streaming service for softcore porn. Those of you who do not know this, there you go. We love Vivian. Yeah, I fucked up. I confused her with someone else.
Stupid bill that they're passing. It's like, oh, children can drive Ubers now or whatever. Whatever the hell insane thing they're putting in there. Oh, that seems pretty bad. Oh, well,
why would we want to keep the softcore porn sister? Because you guys are always so fucking horny. So I thought that's who you were talking about, okay? Can we keep the porn one too, asking for a friend?
Wait, you didn't read the whole thing, man. Also, we're going to put that guy Elon Musk on a raft and just sort of kick the thing into the water. No paddles. People are like, okay, seems like overall kind of interesting. My 4-year-old has to do DoorDash now.
Subscriber.
What the Elon Musk thing is pretty funny, gotta admit. What's that guy's name?
Iluma.
Right.
Right. Okay, got it.
Thank you, Huang Yu. Twitch bugged and I missed a month. No worries. 11 months. Thank you very, very much. That is actually brilliant. Thank you, my friend.
This headline kept coming up and I was like, is that true? Pretty good if true.
It's really hard for the disabled and poor to leave the United States. Bro, are you calling Elon Musk disabled? No, I was only talking about Elon Musk, my friend. No, obviously it's very difficult to migrate out of a country. It's supremely fucking hard. Nobody's denying that. It is very, very difficult.
Move his little ass out, all this. But then I went and I watched the clip, and it's just this one lady. It's just this one lady who took a bite out of her microphone because it looked, and this I agree with, it looks like food. But it's just this one lady who keeps yelling, will you deport Elon Musk? Hey, nobody said anything about this, but will you kick that guy's ass? She looks at the other press people. Hey, will you kick Elon Musk's little ass? From the clip I watched, this seems to be largely her idea. And then Trump is just like, oh, take a look at that. Take a look at that. Okay, hey.
Even Charlie.
Easy, Megan. Easy, Megan. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta see that laugh again. Okay, there. Okay. Whoa. We need a wellness check. That's a wellness check behind a tornado or something. Okay, here we go.
I think they're crazy. We will have a communist for the first time, really, a pure, true communist. To operate the grocery stores, the department stores. What about the people that are there?
Yeehaw, brother! Let's go! My president! Deporting billionaires and giving free airtime to free grocery store Zoran, okay? Our Yugoslav jihadi infiltrator. Let's go.
What the hell?
Yeah, baby! This was the plan all along.
I think it's crazy.
All right, this is like the third or fourth time that I've seen this. He's a pure communist. This guy's so old and whatever's rattling around up there. This is like something from when he was younger or something. He heard on a radio broadcast or something. He heard Orson Welles say this or something. That's pure communism. And then now he's just like, oh, communism, you put pure in front of that.
This is pure communism. It's pure.
No, he does not understand it. Trump is actually deeply, deeply dialectical, and he understands the Zohran. Deep down is an orthodox Marxist who subscribes to all the principles defined by Engels and Karl Marx originally, unspoiled by the writings of Mao, Lenin, or any other future contributor to Marxist doctrine. Okay, Trump really understands Zohran's particular perspective, where he wants to apply orthodox Marxism to the material conditions present in New York City. Unfortunately, this reporter is not very versed in Trump's understanding of the dialectic. Thank you, Perfect Tommy, for the 8 months. 1 more month and you're pregnant. Hope you're looking forward to that. I hope you're eating good, okay? Hope you're eating good.
Through communists.
Right
he
here.
wants to operate the grocery stores, the departments.
What do you think about Gramsci worth buying the prison notebooks? Yes, 100%. Gramsci is really good. When it comes to understanding how a system influences culture and ideology, quote unquote, he is the best. He's absolutely the best.
Stores. What about the people that are there? I think it's crazy. Who?
Yeah, this is still going on all over the media, you know? There's just going to be an ongoing panic attack about this Zoran guy forever. He went on Meet the Press, and the lady was just like, the Washington Post says you're going to make everyone live outside, and you're anti-Semitic. What do you say? They're probably right. Do you agree or disagree? You know? And he talked about this grocery store thing, and he's like, we're going to set up 5 grocery stores in New York, the giant New York City, for basically no money in New York City's budget. And still, like, all the media is like, oh my God, everyone's going straight to hell. Because places where there's no grocery stores, they're going to put some, and they're going to be owned by the city. People are like, yeah, we're all going to die from that. You viewers watching this, you live nowhere near New York City. This is going to affect you.
All of you.
Really.
First, they start with the free and affordable grocery stores in New York City, and only days later, they will come and make your grocery stores affordable. Okay. I want my goddamn American right to overpay for my goddamn poisonous groceries. God damn it. I want to be sickly 24/7. Because existence under the alienated American experience is too awful. I want food deserts. I want to overfill with myself with calories because I am unwilling to put a stop on my life really quickly, so I postpone it through constant consumption of high fatty meats, high processed sugars, beers, and of course, who can forget corn off-brand items. Chips till I die. Unironically, I am killing myself with chips. Do not give me accessible food that would remove the ability for me to slowly kill myself while promising myself that I'm not actually killing myself. A couple of years ago, they came and they took away goddamn cigarettes. You know how expensive cigarettes are? It's become very difficult to slowly kill myself. Now they're going to take away goddamn unhealthy food and make the healthy one affordable. Goddamn it. This is disgusting. Off-brand corn. Oh, porn. You guys are too horny. Ma red eye. Not the ciggies.
Media's panicking about this.
First they came for the ciggies, then they came for the chips, then they came for the processed sugars. And when they came for my literal stomach to reprocess as meat once the planet was burning down, nobody could speak up because all of them were gone. Only the skinnies were left. Only the healthy skinnies that don't want to passively kill themselves through overconsumption of legal and illegal substances are going to be left. And they're going to judge you. They're going to judge you very seriously and deeply. Okay? The pubs shall be closed. The clubs shall be boarded up. The fast food delis will be burned to the ground. You will no longer be walking back from a night out hearing birds because you overstayed. No, you will be waking up at the crux of morning to run together with the just awoken birds. The masses shall have marathons and they shall live happy. That is the future. For the worker must live a long life in order for the capitalist to remain prosperous. You know how difficult it is to do a long-term investment on a proletarian who's just gonna die at the age of 70. Fucking pathetic. No, we must make sure they're all healthy. What did Robo send me? Let's see. There's a strike in Philadelphia. I've been to Philadelphia. Very nice city. I like it.
American in this country to stop what they're doing and pay attention to what's happening.
Okay, I'm not American. Okay, so I'm kidding. Sorry, I'm being a cunt for no reason.
Happening in Philadelphia right now is the largest sanitation worker strike in American history. And I want to give you some context about it. The last time there was a strike of this magnitude for sanitation workers was in 1968 Memphis. And if that is kind of sounding familiar, that was one of Martin Luther King's projects. The most famous speech that Martin Luther King gave, apart from his I Have a Dream speech, is the Go Tell It on the Mountain speech that he gave on April 3rd, 1968. The next day, he was murdered. And that sanitation worker strike only had 1,300 participants. This one in Philly has over 10,000. Greg Boulware is the District Council 33 president, and this man is doing some work that is going to change American history. And we all need to be paying attention and taking notes. Right now, trash is filling the streets of Philly. But guess what? Those workers ain't going back to work.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the police is making them do it.
Oh my God! City of Philadelphia preliminary injunction. The City of Philadelphia successfully filed a preliminary injunction to compel police dispatchers back to work. This court action mandates that only those individuals whose names are specifically listed must return to their duties. Only dispatchers named in the injunction are required to resume work. Holy fuck! That's such classic police behavior.
There are court orders to force people back to work, but they're planning to go be sick. They're planning to defy the state to make sure that workers get what they deserve, get the pay, the benefits that they deserve, that you deserve as a worker. What's happening in Philly can happen in your city. You can do the same thing. We all can do the same thing. We can have a general strike. If we want to affect fascism in this country, if we want to economically disrupt these billionaires, these tech billionaires, these white supremacists, these conservatives, if we want to, we have to strike. And it's possible. They're starting. Its revolution is starting. Are you going to be a part of it? Eyes on Philadelphia.
Absolutno, brate. Whoever's in Philadelphia, please go and fucking join this lovely gentleman. Fuck yeah. Fuck to the yes. Yes to the fuck. That's lovely. Thank you, Robo, for sending it in. Very cool shit. Sanitation workers have, like, being unironic, an unironic societal necessity, have very, very distinct power in utilizing unionized strikes and so on to make sure they get as many benefits as possible out of a potential strike. Because without sanitation workers, well, you know, you have the Black Plague. The whole city dies. The whole country ends up being subsumed in a fucking bacteria spread that makes COVID look like a meme, right? But no, we're convinced that those are unskilled workers, that those people do not deserve to live a dignified life because what they do is somehow shameful or whatever the fuck. How is making sure that a city continues living, a city continues being clean, hygienic, healthy, okay? They're the doctors of the streets. They're communal doctors, hygiene workers. But no, we should pay them scraps for allowing our civilization to exist. No sanitation workers means you get to poop yourself to death, literally. How are you going to use setup? No, I'm at my girlfriend's place. Fiance's place. Jesus, I keep forgetting. I'm gonna get dumped, aren't I? Ho ho!
I like Trump must have heard something about this somewhere. And most of these goofballs will come up with some way to panic about this. They'll be like, oh, well, this will drive the prices down so low that every food place will go out of business in New York City. If you set up a handful of supermarkets in New York City, every food place will close. You know, that's what these idiots are saying. But Trump is... Trump
We begin tonight with what President Trump calls his big, beautiful bill, which could be headed for a final.
I think what's going to happen is Doge is going to look at Musk. I don't think he should be playing.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org.
Jesus, that jazz at the start of Democracy Now! Is kills me. This is from 2 hours ago. Let's get the latest news and latest updates from Depression Now, depressionnow.com with Amy Badman and the War and War Report. Everybody go subscribe to Democracy Now! If you have not already. Very nice, very good. And if you have subscribed there, subscribe here.
The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
I'm Amy
Goodman. On Capitol Hill, Republican leaders appear to have convinced enough far-right holdouts to win passage of President Trump's sweeping package of tax cuts for the wealthy.
They went to the far-right holdouts and they were like, okay, I understand you're far-right. I understand you're far-right when it comes to the market. You want it free. You want it uninhibited. But I can give you something that you like much more. Something that you like much more than you like the free market. Look at mouth. Deporting and imprisoning immigrants and minorities en masse. Look at mouth. Deporting and imprisoning minorities and immigrants en masse. Oh! Put it in my vein. So, free market or big camp filled with minority. What do you want? What are we doing? What are we doing, brother? What are we doing? Okay, brother. Fuck the free market, brother. Do I get to go on safaris inside of the camps? Jeez, that's disgusting. Sorry for that joke. That joke was fucked up. But yeah, pretty much. Look at mouth. Thank you, Infinite Worm, for gifting a sub. Thank you very, very much, my friend. People like you are what allows me to do what I do, which is pretty much say, look at mouth.
And deep cuts to social programs, including Medicaid and food assistance. At the time of this broadcast, lawmakers are preparing for the final vote after House Speaker Mike Johnson won the support of Republicans who objected to its price tag, which the Congressional Budget Office says will add $3.3 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. The Kaiser Family Foundation estimates some 17 million people could lose health insurance over the next decade as well if the bill is approved. We'll go to Capitol Hill for an update later in the broadcast. Officials in Gaza say Israeli attacks have killed over 300 Palestinians in the past 48 hours. Among the dead are at least 11 people killed in an Israeli airstrike on a school housing displaced Palestinians west of Gaza City. Another attack on a tent encampment near Khan Yunis killed 13 people, including a couple and their 4 children. Meanwhile, a strike on the Indonesian hospital killed renowned cardiologist Marwan al-Sultan. He's at least the 70th healthcare worker killed by Israel in the past 50 days. His daughter, Lubna al-Sultan, said her mother, sister, and aunt were also killed in the strike.
My father is a cardiologist at the Indonesian hospital and the hospital's director. He is neither in any movement nor affiliated with anything. He just cares for the sick, treats them, and comforts them throughout the war. The war must stop. We are hungry. We are scared. We have lost people. I call upon everyone to intensify efforts to stop the war and do whatever they can to calm things down.
Palestinians say at least 33 people have been slaughtered today as they queued for aid at militarized aid distribution sites run by the U.S. and Israel-backed so-called Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The reportedly unprovoked killings came as the Associated Press published recent video showing U.S. contractors at GHF sites firing live ammunition and stun grenades at starving Palestinians as they scrambled for for food. The AP says it received the footage from 2 U.S. contractors who wished to remain anonymous in order to blow the whistle on abuses. The contractors report security staffers were often unqualified, unvetted, heavily armed, and seemed to have an open license to do whatever they wished. In this clip published by AP, contractors erupt in cheers as shots ring out.
At that moment, bursts of gunfire erupt close by, at least 15 shots.
I think you hit one.
This week, 100 This
in a perfect American accent, might I add, with a perfect American expression. Anything I would say would get me banned. Anything I would say. Because I can't do like a joke about this. Like anti-TOS, whatever LARPy shit. I can't do that. You know how much reporting there's going to be and how much, but why us? But why? Why? Once this thing switches, you know how much? And half of us, unironically, we have very short memories. We're going to be like, dude, what the fuck, man? Yeah, maybe this should chill the fuck out during the de-Zionism process. Unless, of course, it goes the way of the de-Nazism process outside of East Germany, right? So I guess to these militarized, especially Zionists, I wish a very happy coming DDR-style de-Zionification, okay? And I remind every single chatter here not to one day when that starts feel bad, okay? Because you're all good people and you're going to feel bad. You still see it's a human being. You're going to feel bad, okay? You're going to be like, ah. When it does happen, remember, hell yeah, brother, okay? Hell yeah, brother. Remember that when you start feeling bad in a couple of years.
Week, 170 charities and aid groups, including Oxfam, Save the Children, and Amnesty International, signed a joint statement calling for an end to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, citing its blatant disregard for international humanitarian law, unquote. Meanwhile, Hamas says it's studying a ceasefire proposal that President Trump has called a final offer. Israel's Likud party is pressing for the formal annexation of the occupied West Bank, saying it hopes to complete the takeover ahead of a parliamentary recess at the end of July. This comes as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed he'll visit Washington, D.C. next week to meet with President Trump. This week, the Pentagon approved a $510 million sale of bomb guidance kits to Israel. The sale.
Remember, literally today they said that they are running out of military equipment that they can give the Ukrainians, but they approved $510 million worth of bombing kits for Israel. Just saying, you know. My mom, when the United Healthcare CEO and his claims, denied, told me she feels bad for not caring he was killed. She would never have said something like that 2 years ago. The tides are changing her in the U.S. It's just really slow, always. But the tides are. I like to quote Hakim here. The allegory shouldn't be a snowball effect. The allegory shouldn't be tides. The allegory, you know, which one you should use? Diesel engine. You know, when you're starting to start a diesel engine in the winter, turns off. But then it turns on. It's okay? Revolution is a diesel engine. It goes from 1 to 100. Okay? But they're doing their best to be sparks for our diesel engine. So let's let them. What do I mean? They're showing us just how fucking absolutely non-sympathetic they are to any sort of progressive cause, any struggling nation, any victim of an active genocide. I mean, while doing an active genocide, they are passing legislation in the United States proper that is somehow supposed to be reaping the benefits of imperialism abroad, and they don't even let their own population reap the benefits of imperialism abroad. Used to be the analysis of, English people get to live really well because they are doing colonialism and imperialism all over the world. But in late stage capitalism, arguably, you don't even have that. It's for only the 1% of the 1% to be able to reap the benefits of imperialism abroad. Because what are we seeing? We're seeing legislature being passed that will not even allow the everyday Joe to, make $5 more because things are cheaper, because fuel flows, because Israel keeps the Middle East in check in America's name. Blah, blah, blah. There's no W's. 0 W's in chat. W's used to a little bit exist. Bloody W's. W's built on millions of corpses, but there was a W here and there for empire. But now the W is smaller and smaller, and it's even for the most privileged members of empire.
Comes as The Guardian reported Israel used a U.S.-made 500-pound bomb when it attacked a crowded beachfront cafe in Gaza on Monday, killing dozens of Palestinians, including...
This versus a cafe. Random reference, by the way. Those who know. This versus a beachfront cafe. I'm going to a beachfront cafe tomorrow to have some mimosas with the girls, and then BAM! $1 billion fucking rocket falls on my head.
Children celebrating a birthday party. Britain's House of Commons has voted to ban...
And somehow Amy Badman made it even worse. Jesus Christ.
And the direct action group Palestine Action under the UK's anti-terrorism laws, adding it to a list that includes ISIS and Al-Qaeda. This comes just days after Palestine Action members breached an Air Force base and damaged warplanes to protest Britain's support for Israel's assault on Gaza. Ahead of Wednesday's vote, hundreds of people rallied outside 10 Downing.
You also know, speaking of protests, the BBC is going to stop broadcasting high-risk performances live after what Bob did on Glastonbury. The Zionism is so rampant in high echelons of media and reporting that they are willing to classify certain artists as potentially high risk almost exclusively from the perspective of what audiences might find offensive. Okay? Now I'm going to sound like some sort of Ben Shapiro type conservative, but just hear me out, okay? They will broadcast videos singing about big titties, big asses, grinding on that cock, fucking in the back of that seat. I got 12 baby mamas and shit, which I all love, okay? Don't get me wrong. But that is not offensive for audiences, okay? They're gonna be like, I can take 3 dicks at the same time. Yeah, let's fucking go. All base shit. Just listen to me. Not against audiences. Or they're gonna play death metal that is literally going to be like, oh, I'm gonna cut off an arm and eat it and then shove it up a toddler's mouth. Yeah, let's go, right? None of that's offensive for audiences. Being against a professional army which is committing active genocide, that is what is forcing BBC to be exceptionally careful about what the innocent ears of everyday Britons should be exposed to whenever they turn on a live concert broadcast. Okay? That should tell you a lot. I mean, this is putting into this is systemic censorship. This is systemic censorship. The BBC, which, by the way, is funded by British tax dollars, okay? The BBC is owned by the people, quote unquote. Of course it's not, but you know what I mean. Therefore, it is part of the system of the United Kingdom, is now openly stating that it will actively punish groups and musicians and performers, whatever you want to call them, whenever their content is outrightly political. Where are my free speech warriors at, bro? Where are my free speech warriors at? Where are you at? Systemic censorship of art that dares be openly political. You can't write this. Like, it's too hilarious. You can't write it. Another group that did civic disobedience when they painted those fucking American planes or whatever the fuck are now designated as terrorists. If you seriously take the whole spiel of the Western civilized world somehow being actively managed by independent institutions which only follow the rule of law and based upon civic liberties and the free market, you are a delusional idiot. Because when power knocks on the door, the executive branch opens, and definitely the legislative branch opens. Okay? Anyways, let's continue.
Street.
I love you, chat.
To protest what they called an abuse of state power by Prime Minister Keir Starmer and his Labour government.
I mean, we should have freedom of speech and freedom of standing against genocide. How does that make you a terrorist? I will never understand that. And
Small reminder to support this pro-free speech anti-Zionist terrorist here on Twitch for $6 a month or for free through Prime. Let's try and hit 1,910 today. That would be a decent target, I believe. So yeah, if you support free speech and if you support masked anonymous Balkan dudes screaming about Zionism on the internet, make sure that they can't get banned by making their show sustainable. Throw some money at your boy or some gift subs. You know how it goes. Thank you for even considering it. I hate doing this grift part, but unironically, yeah. Without the support, I don't get to do shit like this because I'm not on the BBC. I'm on my own thing. But compared to the BBC, I don't get paid by the fucking British public or by a couple of billionaires. So we gotta fund this from the roots, baby. And there you go. Krilltacular fucking understands that with their 15th gift sub. Thank you very much, Krilltacular, for being my British public. For being my British taxpayer, putting that good old hard-earned cash in my pocket. Okay, for every $5, I will defend 5 anti-Zionists, if you know what I mean. Thank you very much.
I think it's people in power trying to silence people who are wanting to stand up for what is right.
A UN human rights expert has named 60 companies she says are profiting from Israel's campaign of genocidal violence in Gaza or the expansion of illegal settlements in the West Bank. The report by Special Rapporteur for Palestine, Francesca Albanese, names manufacturers Lockheed Martin and Caterpillar, investment firm BlackRock, and tech giants including Alphabet and Amazon, among others. Meanwhile, hundreds of peace activists rallied in Washington, D.C. this week to protest the annual meeting.
Yo, Gamer Squad official, thank you very much for investing in my future Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada ski masks. Thank you, my friend. And Mamdami Bathist. Okay, we got Bathists in chat that subscribe for 2 months on end. Talk about a united fucking community. No fucking leftist infighting. There's even Bathists in here. I hear there's even some Albanians in here from time to time. Crazy, truly international shit is happening. Okay, here on YugopnikTwitch, baby. Yeah. Why am I talking like a fucking British crack dealer? What the fuck? Yeah, baby. Yeah. Why the fuck did I start talking like that? Oh, I should stop watching The Wire so much.
Meeting of Christians United for Israel, one of the largest pro-Israel organizations in the United States. On Monday, activists unfurled banners reading "Kufi kills" and "No God bombs children." On Tuesday, police arrested more than 50 people as they held peaceful protests inside congressional office buildings on Capitol Hill. A federal judge in Washington, D.C., has struck down the Trump administration's efforts to ban asylum protections for migrants crossing through the southern border. In his ruling, Judge Randolph Moss overturned a proclamation issued by Trump on his first day in office that falsely declared an invasion at the U.S.-Mexico border and invoked emergency presidential powers to expel immigrants from the U.S. without due process or allowing them to seek asylum in violation of international and U.S. federal law. ACLU attorney Lee Gallant, who argued the merits of...
For the people asking why does ICE need so much money and why do they specifically need camps? Why don't they just hyper-focus on kicking out people? Because they need their free labor, bro. The United States of America is constantly upheld on undervalued and underpaid immigrant labor, okay? That country would collapse without it. So how do you do anti-immigrant rhetoric and yet maintain a cheap labor force? You do the same thing you did back in fucking Jim Crow. You do the same thing you did back after the American Civil War. The same thing that America has always done. When it has a particular minority or category of people who they still need to work without giving them additional rights. You put them in a thing, you call it a prison, you call it a camp, you call it re-education, you call it necessary national interest of protecting the homogeneity of the American way of life. You call it whatever the fuck you want. And then they fucking work. You make sure it's not a concentration camp because you pay them 10 cents an hour, right? Pay them 5 cents an hour. You pay them 50 cents an hour. It doesn't matter. And you got a win-win. You got your base that is no longer pissed at you for taking away their public goods and services and making their life shittier, because now they're blaming the fucking dudes in the camps as if they have all the power. Your capitalists are not pissed off at you for kicking out a big part of their cheap labor force. They're thankful because they no longer have to pay them $15 an hour. They can pay them 15 cents an hour. Money rolls, products get printed out, and you have a legal basis for detention. That is a long-term plan, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. That is a long-term plan. Thank you, Stringer AI, for the 5 gift subs. Or Al. Sorry, Al. Sorry for calling you an AI, Al. Thank you, Al. It's one of my favorite names, Al. What's up, Al? I'm good, bro. Good, Al. Thank you. Very kind of you.
Of the case said in a statement, quote, "This is a hugely important decision. Not only will it..."
The thing she's mentioned about invasion is a piece of an American Enabling Act. Yeah. Of course, I know.
Save the lives of families fleeing grave danger. It reaffirms that the president cannot ignore the laws Congress has passed and the most basic premise of our country's separation of powers, unquote. This follows reports the Trump administration plans to dismiss the asylum cases of hundreds of thousands of people who entered the U.S. outside a port of entry in order to place them on
Under the BBL bill, pretty much asylum will no longer be an option for the United States. The boxes you would need to tick to get asylum in the United States would, compared to other countries, would basically render it impossible. Hope you, probably most of you are informed on this, but yeah.
Expedited deportation proceedings.
Soldier, subscriber.
Attorneys representing Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, for paying forward. My favorite thing to see among chat. Thank you very, very much. The best old guy in here.
Say the Maryland father was brutally beaten and tortured during the 3 months he was in prison in El Salvador after the Trump administration wrongfully sent him there in March. The reports of abuse were detailed in court documents filed Wednesday as part of a civil lawsuit against the U.S. government that describe Abrego Garcia was, quote, subjected to severe mistreatment upon arrival at SECOT, including but not limited to severe beatings, severe sleep deprivation, inadequate nutrition, and psychological torture, unquote. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's lawyers say he lost 31 pounds during his first 2 weeks of confinement at the SECOT mega prison, and that later he and 4 others were transferred to a different part of the prison, quote, where they were photographed with mattresses and better food, photos that appeared to be staged to document improved conditions, unquote.
His name will be very famous throughout history. Obviously, I'm being alarmist now, but I think it's necessary at this point to be semi-alarmist. His name will be known in history books as one of the first people that the American mass imprisonment of immigrants program was tested on, OG, you know? Also, I would be very concerned if I was him if their wider project continues down the path in which it's going, because let's just say it this way. If I was planning on making concentration camps all over the country, somebody with the public eye on him who is actively suing the government for his treatment in one of our original experiments of concentration camps, I would make sure that, I don't know, he gets really depressed all of a sudden. I will make sure that he gets really, really depressed and overdoses on some pills. If I was them, I mean. So he should be fucking careful.
Abrego Garcia is currently in federal custody in Nashville, Tennessee. To see our coverage of his case, go to Democracy.
How will he get the pills inside of the facility? I don't know.
democracynow.org. In more immigration news, Ward Sakik, a 22-year-old Palestinian woman, has been released from a Texas ICE jail after 5 months in custody.
Jesus Christ.
She reunited with her husband, who'd been fighting for her freedom. The Trump administration repeatedly attempted to deport her despite a judge's order barring her removal from the U.S. Her family is from Gaza. She was born in Saudi Arabia, which does not grant birthright citizenship to the children of immigrants. Sakek was taken by federal agents in February upon returning from her honeymoon in the U.S. Virgin Islands. In related news, a federal appeals court this week denied the Trump administration's request to rearrest.
On a more like completely practical thing, if there's anybody in chat that is actually planning on moving to another country or migrating, please, for the love of God, don't migrate to the States. There's plenty of other places. If you have a budget big enough that allows you migration to the United States of America, please redirect your plans. Please. Please. Okay? Please.
Georgetown University researcher Badar Khansuri and send him back to an ICE jail while his case proceeds. Dr. Khansuri will remain free with his wife and 3 children in Virginia after he was released in May. To see our coverage of his case, go to democracynow.org. Another immigrant has died in ICE custody. Isidro Pedres was a 75-year-old immigrant from Cuba. He'd lived in the United States for nearly 60 years. He was a fisherman who lived on his boat in Miami. He was taken into ICE custody.
60 fucking years? He went there at 15. How is that not an American?
In early June, died less than a month after being jailed at the Chrome Detention Center. His health was fragile as he had previously survived a heart attack and 3.
Yeah, maybe don't arrest a 75-year-old who's just living there.
Catheter.
On his boat, fishing.
His cause of death has not been determined, as activists have long decried medical neglect and abuse inside ICE jails. Perez is at least the 5th person to die in ICE custody in Florida this year, and the 13th death since the start of the year. Here in New York, hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs is to remain in custody awaiting...
I stay super updated on this shit. I didn't know 13 fucking human beings died in ICE detention. What the Yeah. Those are also tests, obviously. How are the masses going to react to deaths in ICE facilities?
Sentencing after a jury acquitted him of all but 2 lesser counts in his sex trafficking federal trial. Combs was convicted.
Oh yeah, let's do a separate on the diddler. I intentionally did not want to watch any diddler shit, but just to get our mood up for a second, we have a very tall Bart video. Okay, it came out 2 days ago. Just to get our mood up. Okay, a little bit of shit posting. We do a little bit of shit posting in here. We do a little bit of.
I'm Hitler's top guy.
First claim, I'm gay and I'm stupid.
Let's get ready to rumble!
You're so damn daft that you've got no bitches.
Whoa!
Got no green, no stacks, and no riches.
This shit rhymes.
You're a dimwit nutsack with no tricks and no game. You haven't grown up. You're just more of the same. Your positions are wrong, so listen.
Bart is rhyming them now, okay? If you don't know Bart, he's my favorite leftist shitposter by far. After Walmart, of course. Okay? This is the link. Please go subscribe. Severely underrated.
Up, Sonny, I cut off my dong to make room for more money. But I like to do keep before I fart. Well, of course, Jesus.
Wait, come on. Let's edit in 4K. Who do you what song should I play in the background? What song would work for this one? Trap instrumental 2024. Let's see. No, that's definitely not 2024, bro.
Killer.
Okay, that fucking kills.
staff that you've got no bitches, you've got no green, no stacks and no riches. You're a dimwit nutsack with no tricks and no game. You haven't grown up. You're just more of the same. Your positions are wrong. So listen up, Sonny. I cut off my dong to make room for more money. What I like to do, keep before I fart. Well, of course, Jesus, talk about putting the cart before the horse.
Hi, nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Could you explain that question?
No.
So to respond to
that hit so hard.
Can we go back? Can we stay on what we were talking about?
Jamie went golfing this weekend with Who Killed Kennedy.
Really?
You know, he's dead now.
Isn't that sad? Well, why not have a machine shovel rocks into your butt, which is painful and annoying, but absolutely necessary? Well, because the people who want a machine to shovel rocks into their butts are always the death of everything. That's Peter Pan, right? And then you might say, well, so what? Because you're getting what you want. Well, the people who have the most sex never come. That's why Pinocchio has to go into the belly of the whale. And then the mothers, the naive mothers, come flooding out.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, why are you talking to me like that?
Have you encountered the nightmare men?
Yes. There was a lot of them.
Because in the old days, they go, hey, now.
That was great. Wait, what is this? What played? Standing comedy 9 days ago. Okay, sorry, I gotta watch another Bart video. Little palate cleanser. Little reminder for you guys to subscribe. A little palate cleanser.
Go, hey. Ridiculous. When I was a young boy, I was like, ah. Now, it's like egg. Ridiculous.
You know how you can tell how pretty a white woman is? You look at her. Sass. Your brain don't work. Your brain don't work. You can't change.
You need a little danger in your life. Take a fucking shit. Take a fucking shit.
Never. 0 disappoints up until now on my name. So yeah, Diddler.
This is monumental, Elizabeth. We've been covering.
We are back with our breaking news.
And when I was growing up, I really felt that.
Sorry that I have to click through the videos. You know why? Because YouTube is the best platform, okay? They somehow fucked up playlists. Sure, you can upvote a particular video, but I don't get to see when it was actually released. So I saved 3 Diddler videos, Diddler X3 for you guys, right? Diddler due 3 times. But now I don't know which is the newest one, so I have to click on all of them, okay? I have to give you the freshest Diddler. Can we all agree, like, fuck this guy in particular? I mean, not literally. Actually, do never have sex with this guy. Okay, do not fuck this guy. Fuck this guy in the implied social terminology. Okay.
Be somebody. I felt like I wanted to come and shake up the world.
Sean Diddy Combs did shake things up. After a brief stint at Howard University, he launched his music career.
The legislative body in the United States of America versus a billionaire. Let's see who wins. Oh my God, a billionaire won. Wow, surprise. Wow, 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 wow.
That would earn him
watch your dick and ass.
3 Grammy wins for gold and platinum solo albums. In 1993, Combs founded his own record label, Bad Boy Records, after being fired from Uptown Records.
It is Baby on screen. Bad Baby on screen. We all know why Baby.
So that adversity kind of pushed me into my bad boy purpose.
Among others, Combs signed Christopher Wallace, better known as Notorious B.I.G. Combs produced hit records for him until Biggie was murdered in March 1997.
After the revolution, I volunteered as castration commissar. Jesus Christ, dude.
That same year, at age 27, Combs released his debut album, No Way Out, which won the Grammy.
Yeah, No Way Out, just like on his sex parties, because the doors get locked. Come on, that was a hilarious joke. A joke about sexual violence. I'm the funniest guy.
For Best Rap Album. Trouble found Combs in 1999 when he was arrested in the beating of a music executive. Combs pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of harassment. He was ordered to attend an anger management course. Later that same year, more trouble, after a shooting at a Manhattan nightclub injured 3 clubgoers. Combs stood trial, accused of firing the gun inside the club. He also allegedly tried to bribe his chauffeur into taking the blame for another gun found inside a car Combs shared with his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. She was never charged, and Combs was acquitted by a jury.
I just want to say I give all glory to God. I give all glory to God.
The ups and downs continued. 2004 was a good year for Combs. He took home another...
Remember, Chad, the more they talk about God when they are rich, the higher the chances that they're a bitch.
Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. Combs also made his Broadway debut in 2004 in A Raisin in the Sun alongside Felicia Rashad.
I started out as an entrepreneur, and so music was one of the things that I've had success in, and then I went to apparel with Sean John, and, you know, I have Revolt TV, my own television network.
He even invested in vodka.
Okay, here we gotta stop. Ciroc, really, 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 really good vodka. And I'm ashamed to say, okay, was my favorite vodka before all of this happened. Unironically, my favorite vodka. The only vodka that had grape taste without actually infusing it with chemicals. That a very specific process where it could organically get grape taste. But then I realized why Diddy was so obsessed with grape taste, because he was a grapist. So I can no longer drink a grape tasting vodka without thinking about grape, if you know what I mean. So yeah, motherfucker ruined a very good thing for me. A very, very good thing for me.
We just put out the #1 vodka this year, Ciroc Apple.
By 2017, it was clear Combs had achieved his dream of wanting to be somebody.
But I think that they parted ways with Siroc before he started being hit by all the charges and so on. But nonetheless, everybody pulled Siroc from all the fucking... Like, you cannot find Siroc anymore.
Topped Forbes' list of richest rappers with an estimated $820 million. Still, years later in 2023, another dizzying slide. That's when Combs was hit with a lawsuit by his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. She alleged she'd been raped and repeatedly abused by Combs for over a decade. Combs denied the allegations, and the two settled the lawsuit. 4 other civil lawsuits followed. Then came the federal investigation. Authorities swarmed the star's homes in both Los Angeles and Miami as the Department of Homeland Security began investigating claims of human trafficking involving Combs. Combs' lawyer at the time told CNN there was a gross overuse of military-level force. A tumultuous life for Combs, the man formerly known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, and Love.
I have different personalities, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knows.
Why is CNN doing a Diddy's actually very cool report? Because all of this is like a complicated figure. Like, that's the pitch. A complicated and incredibly successful figure. A great allegory for black excellence and American capitalism. Blah, blah, blah. Like, what?
Who's coming downstairs in the morning?
A puff piece, if you will. What is your name? RC Pinto. RC Pinto. RC Pinto. RC Pinto. I can't find you on my other chat thing. RC Pinto. Where the fuck? Did you delete the comment? Am I on a list now? No. RC Pinto. There we go. Okay. Yes, you are on a list of child soldiers because you're a subscriber now, baby. There you go. Gifts up for RC Pinto. Okay. Rarely does somebody make me both laugh and want to KYS myself so hard. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Randy, there was a chance that Combs might have actually been headed to Florida tonight had he got bail.
Absolutely, Anderson. We thought he might be on a plane by now heading here, given the verdict earlier, but then the judge, of course, denied him bail. But he does have a residence here. It's in an area called Star Island. That is an exclusive community about 80 or 90 miles south of where I am in West Palm Beach. It's a gated community. It's a man-made island in Biscayne Bay in the southern part of Miami Beach. And Anderson, that is the home that federal authorities had searched when the allegations started stacking up against Combs. So we thought maybe if the judge let him out on bail that he might want to get away from New York. It's a quick flight to Florida, get away from some of the chaos surrounding his trial. It would make sense that he would go to his house there. But right now, Anderson, we don't know when he'll be able to return to that home.
All right, Randy Kay, thanks very much.
We're immediately building fucking consent for the idea that he should go home. Like,
my next guest profiled Combs for Vanity Fair back in 2021, spent time with him at his home, and which was about 3 years before Combs was indicted, a little more than 2 years before Cassie Ventura filed her civil suit. The headline of the article, I got a second from Puff Daddy to Diddy to Love. UNC Chapel Hill professor and New York Times columnist Tracy McMillan Cotton joins us now. Also, our Kara Scannell is back as well. So, Tracy, there were a lot of reports from inside the courtroom about Combs' demeanor during the trial. You profiled it back in 2021. That seemed really very much a part of a PR campaign on his part at that point.
Yeah, his behavior and his demeanor, anyway, in court is pretty consistent with what I saw during the hours we spent together for that profile. You know, I went into doing that interview with a couple of questions. I am one of those people that grew up with Bad Boy. I am part of that generation. So I understood him as a cultural figure. I also understood Diddy Combs as a sort of transformational capitalist figure. But I was interested in why this rebrand, why now? And I repeatedly asked him that question when we spent time together. And it became kind of clear to me that this was sort of a tail wagging the dog situation. The rebrand needed to happen, and he was sort of backfilling the narrative as to why, as we were kind of going along. That was my takeaway at the time. Didn't have any indication of what was to come. I will say that when the eventual bombshell allegations started to drop, it didn't feel inconsistent with the person that I had met.
This was a rebranding where he was calling himself Love, and I think showed a driver's license at one point that had that as his middle name.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was like a fucking OG back in the day and did what he did for the culture and made some good music and sponsored some decent rappers. But at the point when money entered his brain to such a large extent, he became a classic 21st century billionaire, parallel to the aristocratic kings of old, where everything is boring and you're looking for the next bigger fucking high. And the next bigger high was more insane orgies than the previous insane orgy, which included incredibly illegal and sometimes grapey fucking shit. Okay? On top of that, he was participating in unironic fucking prostitution, and through that probably ended up making a lot of money by doing the same shit that Epstein did. You get a bunch of famous people in your room. That famous person says that they love somebody shitting in their mouth. You call a prostitute to shit in their mouth, and then you record that. Then you show them the video of them having someone shit in their mouth, and you tell them that they will need to sign some sort of deal or contract with your large business venture. They sign a deal or contract, and everybody goes their way to an extent. My conspiracy tinfoil hat moment here on today's stream is that he did that to somebody he wasn't supposed to do, to somebody with true power and connection to the FBI and to the, police apparatus of the United States of America. And the second that happened, what did they do? They ended up arresting him. Okay? That's pretty much it. See him like R. Kelly, yeah. Like, when you become a billionaire, you become the worst type of fucking degenerate, and that's it, right? They were very willing to let a fellow billionaire do whatever a fellow billionaire wants to do up until he rattled the wrong tree. Fuck me. For example, this is a classic. Thank you, chatter.
Maybe R. Kelly did urinate on this woman, but
like, why is this always happening with super rich dudes? Okay, and if somebody makes this about race and chat, I will literally fucking ban them. Okay, this is rich people behavior. This has nothing to do with black performer or whatever shit. Okay, you're playing into fucking stereotypes. Like fuck Diddy for being a billionaire capitalist rapist. That's it. Devoid of race, okay? I don't give a shit if Elon Musk is white or a black South African if he was in an alternate universe. Diddy sucks because Diddy and Elon suck because they're social parasites, and probably in the secrecy of their own villas, aka dungeons, probably also additionally unhinged and fucked up.
urinated on R. Kelly. And if you let them put this man in jail, America will urinate on each and every one of you.
That's the only reason I didn't want to watch this. Already got chat making BBC jokes. No need to continue that programming. What the fuck's doing? You mean like the penis thing? Jesus fuck. Whoever does that in chat mods, please give them a 1-day ban. What the fuck? Yeah, the fuck? Seriously? Yeah. That's fucking fucked up. Please don't do that.
Salam alaikum.
So being freaks, Jesus Christ.
Walaikum salam, brother.
Please, people! You saw the tape. The girl testified she was underage. You're not allowed to do that to a little girl. We have a videotape.
Go tell that to your white bitch.
But the girl was... prosecution rests.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, all that needs to be said is this.
What a classic.
Now we realize that video of him assaulting Cassie Ventura in the hotel, that was in 2016. So that was actually 4 years now before you interviewed her. Obviously, nobody knew about, or nobody publicly knew about this video that we're watching right now. I'm wondering what you thought once you saw this video, realizing, he was talking to you about the Me Too movement back in 2021.
Yeah, that was
caught in 4K. How does this not get you in jail for at least a year? How does this not get you in jail? I can tell you how. A lot of zeros in your bank account. The same way more zeros in my subscription count can keep more of you out of advertising jail. Oh my God, did he just do it? Did he just do it? Was that an ad transition? Was that an ad transition? Why is he refusing to leave ad transitions in 2015? Why, I ask you, dear Lord? Because it's the only way I can grift without feeling completely like a grifter. So for $6 a month for free through Prime, or by gifting to your fellow chatters and elevating them from a simpleton chatter into a beautiful, beautiful child soldier, you can keep the show afloat and, more importantly, free yourself from jail the same way Diddy will likely do. Am I comparing you to Diddy right now if you subscribe? Yes, I am. Am I realizing that's a surefire way for you to not subscribe? Yes, I also am, as I am speaking. So now I'm going to stop speaking because I'm digging a deeper and deeper grave for myself. Hugo, what the fuck are you doing? You're never going to reach 2,000, I swear to fucking God.
That one really stunned me.
What the fuck, I am Diddy. Get out of chat. What the fuck? We got Diddy in chat. Thank you, Krilla Tucker, for, saving me from embarrassment.
I'm saying. I actually went back to make sure that I remembered this correctly.
Here's a spoon. What spoon?
He is the one who brought up Me Too. So I will, kind of remind everybody at this moment, we were at this intersection between Me Too and Black Lives Matter when I met with Diddy at his home in Los Angeles. And I fully expected him to speak about Black Lives Matter, particularly his role or non-role at the time in talking about police brutality, et cetera. He was the one, however, who brought up Me Too and kind of kept circling the drain. And I remember asking him, I remember telling him that I was surprised that he was clued in to Me Too and that he thought that it was the sort of...
Yeah, because he was trying to get ahead of the curve, Because he's a billionaire. He ain't having no fucking problems with police violence. He probably has a security force bigger than his local municipality who has police officers. But Me Too could get him eventually. Talk about a red flag.
Sort of signature, social movement of the time. I was never really satisfied with his answer as to why he thought it was important, but he really wanted to get out ahead of the questions about where he saw himself in the culture, and where he thought the culture was at the time was a response to Me Too. He wanted to make the point that he thought Me Too was important and that kind of behavior wouldn't continue. He spoke about it in a very general term.
Always be afraid of the white knights, okay? The fucking dudes that are feminists only so that they can fucking get in bed with you and then never talk to you again, okay? The only dudes that cis dudes that constantly think about shit like this, except if they're, in particular social causes, or their partner is in those social causes, or a close friend of theirs in such social causes, are dudes deeply concerned about somebody finding out something about them, so they, run ahead of the mile in order to protect themselves long term, so that they are not the suspicious one, if you know what I mean.
And I pressed him
the least bad scenario, Yugo. Yeah.
repeatedly on what behavior and why it affected him so much. But yeah, I was very surprised by his insistence on bringing up Me Too.
Kara, I mean, you had an up-close view of Combs for weeks over the course of the trial. What was he like in court? Because obviously, even just visually, I guess his hair is it all gray?
Yeah.
Journalism. Let's go back and hear real journalism, asked by obviously a gray-haired man, is asking the important questions. Listen.
What was he like in court? Because obviously, even just visually, I guess his hair is it all gray?
Yeah, I mean.
Her giving insightful, interesting contrasts between the allegations and what he was like, okay? Was his hair gray? Sorry, lady, we must interrupt you to ask the real hard-hitting questions.
What was he like in court? Because obviously, even just visually, I guess his hair is it all gray?
Yeah, I mean, he visually looks so different than the Sean Combs that we all knew before he was arrested. And even at his first appearance in court in his arraignment, he had, dark hair. He was wearing a T-shirt and athletic pants, kind of the rapper and the music mogul that you know. But then over the weeks and months leading up to this trial, his hair had turned gray. His appearance in court was one where he
is old. His hair was already gray. He did not have access to chemicals that paint your hair. There you go. Journalist Hugo cracks the case. His hair didn't immediately turn gray from this. His hair was gray. Motherfucker was painting his hair. Dyeing his hair. That's the English terminology, right, Chad? Dyeing his hair. My guy was dyeing his hair, and now he spent a couple months in jail, couldn't dye his hair, so his original hairs popped up. Incredible. But no, we gotta manufacture consent for the idea that my boy was very stressed.
He was wearing khaki pants. He wore a white
button. Tate, absolute classic, Andrew Tate. The absolute classic.
And down shirt with a rotating number of sweaters, crew neck sweaters over it in a couple of different colors, shades of blue and cream and like a mustard color. So he definitely exuded a much different image than what we know him to be and what the jury even saw of him in some of these sexually explicit videos that the public did not see. But Combs was depicted in some of them. They also, heard voice memos from him that bore a contrast to the man who is sitting there quietly because he can't speak and he chose not to testify. But what we also saw, we heard a lot of testimony about how he was so in control of every detail, and that as a businessman, as a performer, he was very focused on the smallest thing. And what we saw throughout the trial was how closely he was involved with his legal team's decisions. His lawyers, before ending cross-examination of a witness, would walk over and confer with him. Some of that might have been for show for the jury, but he was sending notes to them repeatedly throughout the trial, during cross-examinations, while the judge was speaking. Even today, as his lawyer was making these arguments of why he should be released on bail, I saw him pass at least 3 Post-it notes over to his lawyer who was addressing the judge. So there's definitely an element here that he is someone who is in the details, who is involved in that, and that did also portray itself throughout this trial.
We are back with
Okay, yeah, a puff piece on Puff Daddy. unexpected. I'm not even kidding. To an extent, unexpected. Let's go to More Perfect Union and go back to the BBL bill, okay?
You guys want to play a guessing game? You guys.
More Perfect Union does great shit, so they can give us a very decent overview. Even though I talked about the overview on the BBL bill, I think it's going to be nice to go over some basics one more time. Okay, chat? Sounds good? Sounds
Snacks. It's cool. Hey, you guys want to play a guessing game? I'm alright. Okay. I wish I had some prizes.
I'm at this strawberry festival in Ohio, and I'm asking a question that most Americans get wrong.
The CEO of Lowe's, you know, the hardware store? How much more do you think he makes compared to the average Lowe's worker who is helping you find the screwdrivers or whatever?
3 times.
3 times more?
3.
Also 3. Okay, how much more do we think the CEO of McDonald's...
Sorry.
To the president.
What the
You guys want to...
Did she say 3? I am disappointed. I am big disappointed.
Who is helping you find the screwdrivers or whatever?
3 times.
3 times more?
3.
Also 3. Okay, how much more do we think the CEO of McDonald's made than his workers last year?
I'm going to say 9.
The CEO of McDonald's made 1,212 times what his average worker made. 557 times more, 410 times more than the average Home Depot worker.
Regardless of their politics.
Who is surprised by this in the 21st century? I understand lack of class consciousness, but this is knowing that the color red is called red and the color green is called green. This is knowing when to stop at a stop sign. This is the basic necessity type of knowledge that everybody needs to have if they want to participate in society somewhat.
There's one thing that most Americans agree on. CEOs make way too much money.
I'm a paycheck to paycheck woman. It's not fair. I'm a laundry lady. I make less than $15 an hour.
I was a manager at McDonald's.
Okay, so you've seen it from the inside.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But it wasn't always this way. If you go back to even just the mid-1960s, CEOs were making about 20 times as much as their workers. Today, that ratio has exploded to 290 times more. So what happened? This is the story of how the wealthy took a weird corporate trick that used to be illegal and used it to supercharge their wealth at the expense of their workers.
And now they are saying it is not enough, and they're going to pass bills that allow them to keep even more of that money, while increasing expenses for their struggling employees, indirectly making their salaries smaller because the basket of what you can buy with said salaries would be smaller. Therefore, realistically, it's smaller. You know, you might still see your $35K a year income remain $35K, but you can buy a lot less shit with it. While the rich will see an increase in the zeros, obviously, that will massively outweigh the potential price increases due to lack of public goods that they in the first place would not use.
And why this year it could get way worse.
Slap them for good luck.
Felix Allen used to work at Lowe's Home Improvement in New Orleans.
I started at $12 an hour.
One weird trick the workers hated, but we love it. Let's go.
Straight up, there have been people who were alive, you know, when Martin Luther King Jr. was working on the Poor People's Campaign, working at our store, making less than $15 an hour.
Those figures track with what most Lowe's workers make nationwide, about $33,000 a year. The company's CEO made 557 times more in 2023.
And we're going to be great.
One thing that became frustrating pretty quickly was understaffing. Often there were too many customers and not enough people in red vests. You know, it's stressful. It wears on you.
It's not just Lowe's. Workers at Home Depot, CVS, and Starbucks also say that understaffing is endemic nationwide. But all these companies are super profitable. I mean, wouldn't it make sense?
Why does understaffing happen, chatters? A very easy explanation. You as a CEO, what is your main job? Increasing profit margins. What is a very easy way to increase profit margins? Firing people. Can you just do that in certain states of the United States of America? That is to an extent illegal unless you pay $1 million to somebody like McKinsey to come and tell you that that is what you're supposed to do. Therefore, you have utilized a credible third source that has told you that you should fire these people because them, the high-paying, high-roller consultants, believe that Joe down in the warehouse can actually carry 700 boxes instead of the 500 he's already been carrying. So, make Joe carry 700, increase his KPIs, his expected KPIs, and do not increase his salary, and Joe's ROI, return on investment, shall go up. And your ROI will go down, will go up as well, because you will have less mouths to feed, less employees to pay, and yet, because of the ever-increasing productivity of workers, you will still get the job done. Will they be returning home extremely tired, wanting to fucking KMS themselves? Yes, of course. Do you care? Of course not. Because the profit motive is satisfied, your board is satisfied, everybody goes home, except Joe, who works till 2 a.m.
For them to just have enough staff scheduled on the floor to help their customers?
Also, why is Joe peeing? Joe, keep it in. We will buy you some diapers and write it on LinkedIn as a job benefit.
That's just good business, right? Well, it used to be. Let's rewind back to 1979. That's when Lowe's graduated from a single North Carolina hardware store.
And the sad part in the whole situation, sorry for being a Bolsonaro, let's let the lady speak. She's very smart. And in this scenario, Joe is the lucky one. In this scenario, Joe is the lucky one. All of the people that were fired, they're extra fucked, even more than Joe. But at least those fired ones have some public services that can protect them until they find their next job. Nope! We're cutting that too. Incredible.
Right? Well, it used to be. Let's rewind back to 1979. That's when Lowe's graduated from a single North Carolina hardware store to a nationwide chain with a listing on the New York Stock Exchange. Back then, the CEO of a company like Lowe's basically had 3 options for what to do with their profits. They could put them back into the business, maybe open some new stores, or invest in some fancy inventory software. They might use some of it to reward all of those new shareholders with a payment called a dividend. Maybe they use it to invest in their workers, pay for them to learn a new skill, or at least hire enough of them at a high enough wage to help their existing customers. Or maybe they do a little bit of all 3. Remember this chart? This is the era that we're talking about.
The gap between the average big company CEO and their typical worker was about 25-1.
Corporations were largely reinvesting in their innovation process, and in some cases, because of strong unions, paying their workers living wages.
But then something shifted in American corporate culture. It would eventually lead to the explosion of CEO pay that we've seen since then.
It was a complete revolution in the way American companies were run. There's a scene in the 1991 Danny DeVito movie, Other People's Money, that actually does a pretty good job showing this new way of thinking.
Make the stockholders richer. Are you going to liquidate New England Wire and Cable? And if so, what about the people who work here?
Danny DeVito plays a corporate raider who is trying to convince the shareholders of a small New England cable company to sell him their shares so that they can cash out when he liquidates the company.
You invested in a business, and this business is dead. Let's have the intelligence to sign the death certificate to our employees, to our community. What will happen to them? I got 2 words for that. Who cares?
He tells the shareholders that the company has done them wrong by not.
When did this movie come out? I haven't watched it. I should watch it. But definitely didn't come out during the Cold War. 90s, right? No way. If this came out in the Cold War, they would McCarthy your ass so fucking fast.
Prioritizing their payouts.
80s? No way 80s. What's the name of the film? 1991. There you go. I'm so tired of being right. I'm so tired of being correct, okay? So tired. Incredibly tired.
They sucked you dry. And our stock, 1/6 what it was 10 years ago.
DeVito is styled as the kind of lovable villain of this movie, but he actually represents a way of thinking that was taking over American business at the time.
The way that we have thought about the purpose of the corporation since the Reagan Revolution is to make as much money as possible for shareholders.
We're going to turn the bull loose.
I refer to this as shareholder primacy.
In the movie, the shareholders eventually agree to sell to DeVito's character over the objections of the company's CEO. In real life, shareholders found a way to make sure that CEOs always put their interest above everybody else's.
Of course. To an extent, you could make an argument that back in the good old days of early stage capitalism, the CEO needed to take care of all the stakeholders, not just the shareholders, including the employees and their families and their well-being, right? But who hires and who elects CEOs? Huh? Is it a democratic organization, this corporation we're talking about? Or do only the owners get to define who the president of the country of company A is? Obviously, only the shareholders, which elect the board, which elects the CEO. Therefore, only the shareholders' interests are not only defined as the prime directive, they're defined as the only directive.
Instead of paying CEOs a salary in cash, like workers at the rest of the company, start paying them in company stock. The idea spread like wildfire.
Well, if one CEO starts to be paid in this new structure and you see their compensation go up very rapidly, that's going to spread very quickly across the entire ecosystem. It's like keeping up with the Joneses.
Something else happened when CEOs started getting paid in company stock, and it goes a long way towards explaining why companies like Lowe's won't schedule enough workers to help customers, or pay their employees like Felix a living wage. Remember those 3 options that Lowe's and other companies used to have for what to do with their profits? Well, in 1982, right before CEO pay started to really take off, they added a 4th option: buying shares of the company's stock. Here's how it works.
And then we went full steroid mode. Yeah, then we went full fucking steroid mode.
Let's say each share of Lowe's stock sells for $100 on the open market. Then the CEO of Lowe's decides to use some of the company's profits to buy back some of those shares. Now, all of a sudden, with fewer shares remaining, each share is worth a bunch more. Ta-da!
If this is reading to you like some kind of scammy corporate magic trick, you're not wrong.
For much of our history, stock buybacks were illegal.
The lawyers of big companies knew that a company could be accused of manipulating its market price if it went ahead and did stock buybacks.
That changed when Ronald Reagan was elected in 1980 on a platform of deregulation, and he picked a Wall Street executive to be the head of the SEC. And that SEC chair decided that allowing stock buybacks would help companies that wanted to enrich their executives and their shareholders without really having to do anything to improve
Their CEOs legally manipulate the market price of the stock that direct.
And also keep in mind that the CEO is like an elected politician. Like he's just in there for 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 10 years if they're really, really good at manipulating their company's profit rate. Right? So if this sounds like long-term it's going to destabilize the business, the CEO is not motivated to think that way. He's motivated to think quarterly, and get bigger bonuses for him and get bigger quarterly payouts or yearly payouts for his stock owners. It's that's why Marxists very correctly often like to say that it's not just an immoral system, talking about capitalism, it is also a incredibly inefficient system.
And indirectly affects their own compensation. Why wouldn't they?
They can inflate their own paychecks without having to do anything to improve company performance.
Stock buybacks are...
I have to go to the toilet. I haven't gone all day today. I apologize, Chad. I'm going to leave you with without court chair Min, but with the normal kitchen table chair Min. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
A huge reason why the pay gap between CEOs and their workers jumped in the 80s and 90s and has stayed high ever since.
You've seen consistently companies like Lowe's or Walmart or Starbucks where workers have been organizing. They have billions of dollars going out the door in stock buybacks. They say they cannot afford to pay their workers even a very, very low basic wage.
They're literally buying back their own stocks for I mean, it's hard for me to understand, but it's clear that if they're doing that, they got some coin to throw around and they're getting paid however many hundreds of dollars per hour. And yet, my coworker who has worked at Lowe's for 20 years is making less than 15. I mean, it's almost like laughable. It's obviously incredibly offensive.
When companies started paying their CEOs in stock, it helped kickstart a massive nationwide transfer of wealth from workers to CEOs and shareholders. More recently, that wealth transfer has gone into overdrive thanks to one specific law.
Another huge turning point was the 2017 tax reform.
The biggest tax cut, biggest reform of all time.
Now, as Trump and the Republicans are working overtime to make these tax cuts permanent in his big, beautiful bill, it's easy to see how it'll supercharge this wealth transfer from workers to CEOs, because we already have all the evidence.
The biggest giveaway in that 2017 reform was the slashing of the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%.
This change gave corporations a huge amount of cash to throw around.
Company leaders promised that they would use their windfalls from that tax cut and funnel it almost immediately into workers' hands through wage increases and bonuses.
Where you're going to start seeing a lot more money in your paycheck.
Well, what happened after that bill was passed? A handful of companies gave some modest bonuses, but then that was it.
Can you guess what they did instead?
It's not just a big year for earnings. It's a big year for buybacks.
Are expected to hit a record $1 trillion this year.
Companies announcing big share buyback programs along with their earnings reports.
Of course, the irony of it being named the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is that very, very little of these savings went to the workforce. Many people, including myself, were predicting that we would see buybacks as a main way that companies were utilizing the gains, but we saw it in levels that I didn't even expect.
It really changed the norm for stock buyback spending.
When we did a big tax cut, and when they took the money and did buybacks, that's not building a hangar, that's not buying aircraft, that's not doing the kind of things that I want them to do. We didn't think we would have had to restrict it because we thought they would have known better.
Clearly, they don't know better. And even if we take Trump at his word here that he didn't know companies were going to do all these buybacks with their tax savings, it raises a really important question. Why is he about to run the exact same play? Trump's big, beautiful bill gives corporations another massive tax cut, but it doesn't put any limits on buybacks or tax them more aggressively, which was something that one of his own cabinet members, Marco Rubio, floated back in 2019.
We do want to create a preference
for reinvesting it back into your business to increase productivity, innovation.
And do you want to guess why Rubio's buybacks tax isn't on the table this time around? Because days after he merely suggested it, Wall Street investors and their protectors in Congress threw a...
Oh, goddamn. What's up, chat? Sorry for the little pause. Little pause for the... Okay.
proper little fit. One investment advisor told CNBC it was part of a war on wealth. Another called it an attack on democracy in a Financial Times op-ed.
I'm not sure what the problem is we're trying to solve here. Yes, there have been stock buybacks too. I just don't get this, the alarm over a perfectly normal, healthy aspect of a market economy.
Legislators saying we know better how to deploy corporate capital than the managers in the business.
Fast forward 6 years, and there is...
Yes. Unironically, yes. Because what you guys have been doing with capital has led to the average worker living like a fucking 12th century serf.
Not one peep of buybacks opposition among Republicans. So that's the story of how CEOs ransacked America's corporations and took everything for themselves. It used to be a literal crime. Now it's just business as usual. And it's no wonder that so many Americans feel that the politics...
What is up, little bear? Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you very much for the raid. I hope you had a lovely stream. I believe next Friday we are doing a co-stream with Little Bear. I'm really looking forward to that. Welcome in, chatters. Welcome in. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Don't look at what I was streaming. What were you streaming? What were you streaming, my friend? Play horse game. Horse game? You guys were playing horse girl raid? Oh my god, what the fuck is a horse girl? Is that hentai adjacent? Horse furries? Because that's what it's giving. Okay? No. Oh. Aaron is in here as well. What's up, Aaron? Welcome in, chatters. Just talking about the BBL bill. Good old BBL bill. If anybody was thinking of oiling up, now is the moment to make our new Raiders feel nice and welcome. Nice and welcome. I can't believe that neither Little Bear or Aaron have a sub. Why have you guys not given a sub yet? Chatters being stingy. Fucking having to survive the BBL bill and shit. Incredible stuff. Ugh. Good God, you're such an unk. Yes, I am.
Wonderful. A new child soldier. Subscriber.
Yes, I am. I have a stable life, a stable relationship, a stable, thriving communist propaganda platform. I'm good. So yes, proud unk. Thank you, Annie Blasting, for giving Little Bear a sub. Stable because horsies. I am so confused with this reference. Okay, I have to Google. What is horse girl? Horse girl can refer to several things. A person with a strong interest in horses. German DJ and singer. Horse girl. Have you guys been listening to Horse Girl? Is this it? DJ Horse Girl? It's Sumo Musume. Okay. It passed. It just passed. And it just passed. It just passed. It just passed. House passes sprawling. Oh my God. Fucking hell. No. 1 second, chat. Pause on this site. There we go. Not even in America. I'm not going to get ads. House passes sprawling domestic policy bill, sending it to Trump's desk. The Republican package would slash taxes, boost spending on immigration. Oh my God, no thank you. Enforcement in the military, we all know this. impose steep cuts to Medicaid, SNAP, and clean energy funding. The Republican-controlled House on Thursday passed a multi-trillion-dollar package of tax cuts and sending the bill to President Donald Trump's desk after a tense 24 hours negotiation. The mostly party line. So the only thing that stopped it was did he manage to break the record? Did the dude manage to break his record in the speech? This is the game. Okay, let me see what the game is before we get to stuff that is permanently going to alter the lives of many Americans.
Huge. She's out to an early start. What are we at? Third, this is so doable. She's in the pack. Third place. Final corner. We see an ult. There's a chance. I'm not ready to say goodbye.
Okay, this is kind of fucking sick as shit.
No ults. It's over.
That's so good. That's fucking awesome. That's awesome. Do we get to bet on this shit? Do we get to bet? Can you bet on the girls, on the horse ladies? In the end, the GOP largely unified to pack the bulk of Trump's domestic agenda into a single measure, with only a few representatives voting against it. A bloc of Republican holdouts had initially opposed the procedural vote Wednesday to advance the bill, leading to an hours-long overnight standoff, but Trump and Speaker Mike Johnson managed to sway all but one of them, teeing up final passage in the House. Trump is now expected to sign the bill into law on Independence Day, marking the party's biggest legislative accomplishment since taking full control of Washington in January. The 887-page package extends the tax cuts Trump enacted in 2017, while temporarily slashing taxes on tips and overtime pay. It approves hundreds of billions of dollars in new spending on the military and to carry out Trump's mass deportation plans. To remind chat, ICE and Border Patrol will basically have a budget similar to some of the world's most expensive militaries, putting it at number 3 right after the United States military and the Chinese PLA. Okay? Why would you put so much money into this? For a very simple reason, because you understand that your tax cuts will, in the long term, make people say, what the helly on? And whenever they say, what the helly on, you will have a ready, heavily ideologized police force to detain, kill, and kick out of the country. Most important here is obviously detaining, because they need a easily available and borderline free working mass, because obviously they cannot handle kicking out every immigrant, because that would impact negatively the business interests of the United States capitalists. So yeah, America is cooked, and it is cooked with a bill that is called the Big Beautiful Bill, which is incredibly allegoric of how unserious we are about very, very serious topics. Walla. People more in tune with American legislature, like this is basically done, right? Trump's just gotta sign that thing. The House passed it. It's done. There's nobody else that needs to pass it. Yep, yeah, that's what I thought. Well, this is really bad. This is insanely bad. This is horrible. Yeah. When will baby boy JT move in with you? Now may be the best time for him. 100% agree. I'm trying to get him out of that hellhole for a while now. It's Jover. It is Jover. Jover indeed. But hey, brothers and sisters, freedom calls and freedom yawns. The wealthy shall get wealthier. The parasites shall get thicker. We shall work in their mega mansions, but we shall work in their mega mansions as free and proud Americans. Free and proud of thought, of liberty, and all of them goddamn libtard conceptions like an affordable life. Get ready to have nothing and be happy. Welcome to late stage capitalist American decline. Holy shit, I passed out on my couch and scared the shit out of me, yeah. Patriotism moments. Let's luffaga, bro. Let's fucking go, bro. Oh. Let's see if CNN has an immediate reporting on this thing. No, they're just harping on Jeffries. Obama from Timu.
Breaking news into CNN.
Years of lead-infused cheeseburgers.
President Trump has wrapped up a nearly hour-long call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, according to Russian state media. TASS, the two leaders discussed Ukraine, Iran, and other issues. On Ukraine, a Kremlin aide
Obimu, that's hilarious. That's funny.
Said that President Putin told President Trump that Russia would not back down from its war goals in Ukraine. Let's go to senior White House
which they changed 500 times.
Reporter Kevin Liptak with more. Kevin, what more are we learning about what happened during this call?
Yeah, the White House saying that the call has ended, but that's about all they're saying. We're getting most of the details now from the Kremlin side of things. The Kremlin saying that Putin made clear to President Trump that Russia would not back off of its war aims in Ukraine, while at the same time saying that they would continue these bilateral discussions with Ukraine about...
Man, Putin is literally telling him to fuck the fuck off. Jesus Christ.
Potentially bringing this war to an end. And so I think if you're President Trump going into this call, very much hoping to make progress on bringing the Ukraine conflict to an end, it's not clear, at least from the Kremlin readout, that he had a great deal of success on that front, but clearly trying to keep open these channels of communication as he works to resolve that conflict. One interesting point that the Kremlin made was that the two men did not discuss this decision on the part of the Trump administration this week to put a halt on weapons shipments to Ukraine. The Trump administration had said that they were concerned about dwindling U.S. stockpiles and put those weapons on hold. That topic did not come up in these two men's conversations, according to Moscow. But it will be interesting to see if and when President Trump describes this particular conversation. You know, the last time that he was talking in public about Putin was at the NATO summit last week, and he said that he thought his Russian counterpart was misguided in this conflict, that he wanted to find a way to bring this war to an end, but that he didn't necessarily know how to do it. It will be interesting to see if this conversation changed the president's perspective in any way. It did come amid this flurry of diplomacy between the West and with Moscow. The French President Emmanuel Macron spoke to Putin earlier this week for the first time in 3 years. And so you do see sort of the diplomatic gears starting to grind, but at least based on the Kremlin's description of this call, it doesn't appear as if the war in Ukraine is coming any closer to a resolution.
Oh, exactly 0 people are surprised. Exactly 1 person is surprised. Trump himself.
The president just did wrap up his phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. I want to get straight to our terrific reporters. Kristen Holmes is still here, Natasha Bertrand as well, and we have joining us our one and only Jill Doherty, who has been covering all things Russia for a very long time. Kristen, I want to start with you. You have been doing reporting. What are you hearing?
Yeah, so the call is over. It started around 10 a.m. It lasted for nearly an hour, and we still don't have a readout from President Trump. And just, when we look at this White House, they're usually waiting for the principal, President Trump, to post himself instead of a traditional White House readout of how the call went. So we'll see if he puts something on Truth Social. But two things to keep in mind about why this phone call is so critical at this time. One, it comes right after we reported that the Pentagon paused some of the military support, ammunition that they had been sending to Ukraine, something that the Russians celebrated. Two, it also comes after we heard President Trump in his most candid moments at NATO talking about the difficulties of working with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He said for the first time that it was harder than he thought to end the conflict in Ukraine. He said for the first time that he believed it was possible that Putin had ambitions of obtaining more land and more acquiring more property, I guess is just a better way to put it, but then just Ukraine, that it wasn't going to stop. And he said that he's been very difficult to work with, that Putin had been more difficult to work with than he thought. It's been surprising to him. So all of that is in the background of this call with these two leaders. And I will note, nearly an hour is a lot different than what we heard last time, which was 2.5 hours.
Right. Okay, so you mentioned the reporting that you and other colleagues have about the U.S. pausing some munition shipments to Ukraine, including air defense missiles. That's according to senior White House officials. Natasha, I was talking to somebody who is an expert on such things who was saying, well, why did that happen before the phone call? Isn't that giving up some leverage that you might need? I mean, obviously there are different ways to negotiate, but it's giving up some leverage with Putin. Like, if you want to get Putin to do something, say, if you do X, then we will pause the munitions.
Yeah, I mean, this has been really surprising, and it was a decision that was made by the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, Albert Colby, and according to the Pentagon...
I mean, it's giving, okay, the Russian Federation says that they will not stop this war unless they achieve their prime directives, so let's give them a chance to achieve their prime directives so I can fucking end this, because it will play off really well with my voter base, that I'm a peacemaker, etc., etc. That's what it's giving. But it's too early to tell.
Done in conjunction with the White House. It was done in conjunction with the Secretary of Defense. This was not a unilateral decision that Colby made. But at the same time, it did seem to kind of directly undercut what President Trump had said just last week about perhaps providing Ukraine with more Patriot systems, more Patriot interceptors, because he has throughout this conflict demonstrated empathy for the civilians in this war, particularly those in Kyiv who are under daily barrages by these Russian missiles and drones, and where these Patriot interceptors in particular are so critical and so needed.
Thank you for the raid, Argonian Bum. I was actually going to raid you in a bit. But you finished. Hope you had a great stream. Thank you and welcome in. Thank you very much.
By the Ukrainian people. And so for them to pause the delivery of a package of Patriot interceptor missiles, which again are crucial air defense systems, that weren't even allocated by this administration. They were actually allocated by the previous administration, and that were not even actually currently in U.S. stockpiles. They were actually taken from defense contractors that were building them, is really kind of baffling, I think, to a lot of people that we've spoken to. And I think it speaks more broadly to this Pentagon and this administration's desire to say, look, we are now prioritizing the American warfighter. We are now, if you're Albert Colby, who's the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, we are now prioritizing the China
He's trying to send
theater.
a message.
Right, exactly. So
yeah, chat already knows all of this. I got to bounce. I got to record with Hakeem in a second. And I haven't prepared everything that I needed to prepare. Thank you, chat. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. Thank you to everybody who followed. Thank you to everybody who's a regular. Thank you to the beautiful, beautiful police officers protecting us on these dangerous streets of chat. We're gonna raid Rob Russ. We haven't done that in a second. Everybody go and send my fucking love to the absolute OG here on Twitch. Yeah, this was a fun stream. I will see you on Sunday. I'm gonna go to the beach, time to get away and lament on the horrors of what was just enacted on the good old US of A. I hope you all stay safe, because this shit ain't good. I'm not gonna lie to you. To the Yanks in chat, this shit ain't looking good. Now go. Rob will probably teach you even more about that. Enjoy your time on his stream. Send my love, and I will see you Sunday. Okay? You're welcome, you beautiful little bitch. Thank you, Rebo. Have a good one. And happy 4th of July. Oh shit, that's tomorrow. Fuck. What the hell? Okay. Go. Bye.